What's going on, everybody on the internet? How you all doing? I'm Adam Green. This is No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Thursday, June 26, 2025. So much to talk about today with you guys. Trump put out a statement backing Netanyahu and saying that his corruption court cases should be thrown out. We also are going to do the full interview of what I'm calling the Noahide killer, this psychopath that went out and crucified a Christian pastor. We got some highlights and clips from the recent Anti-Semitism hearing. We got some rabbi clips, some Christian clips, and we're going to be discussing quote-unquote real Christians. So it's going to be a huge show, as well as some other news. Going to be a great show, only made possible thanks to you guys and your support. Wouldn't be possible without your support. I'm hearing that maybe Odysee, we're streaming on Odysee, Rumble, X, BitChute, Kick. I'm hearing that Odysee is getting their monetization back. I'm hoping that you guys that subscribe monthly is going to be reactivated. Appreciate everybody that's found the link in the description below to subscribe on Subscribestar. And there's still a few shirts left. The Viking Longboat No More News V-neck shirt at knowmorenews.org, and the Viking Owl shirt, high quality Bella canvas, spreads the message, supports the channel. Still a few available. Pick them up before they're gone. And I'm thinking, since Trump is going so Zion Dawn recently, I may have to come out with another color. I'm thinking about doing the red, the Trump They Live, with the Israeli flag and the Star of David eyes. Thinking about doing another run on that with a different color, because he's just being so Zionist recently, just as I called. A lot of interesting stuff happening today. Trump has channeled his inner John McCain with the Bomb Iran song. He posted this on his Truth Social the other day. Little Beach Boy. Not a neocon though, right? He called out the neocons. It's funny how we've got like our Christian fanatics speaking in tongues. We got our ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, is talking about end times and the rapture. We got the crazy rabbis over in Israel that want to hasten the Messiah and rule the world and have end times wars. And then the talking heads in America will point to Iran and say they're a death cult. They believe in prophecies and end times wars. And if they get a nuke, they're gonna bomb everybody. They're gonna bomb America. They're gonna bomb Israel. And then meanwhile, our president puts out stuff like this. Idiocracy. Trump posted this. You know, for the longest time, I always thought it was just Baram, but it's actually Barbara Ann. Only figured that out recently. Barbara Ann. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. I'm sure this is going to make them want to come to the table. This screams good faith, honest negotiation, doesn't it? They're like, they chant death to America. I wonder why. Doing shit like this. Anyway, after Trump bombed Iran, some homeless-looking Orthodox Christian took his cross to go bless Trump Tower in New York. And it got, of course, 11,000 likes. The corniest Christian song there is. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So is he blessing Trump because he bombed Iran? Because he liked it or because he thinks it's bad, so he needs to pray for him? Praying for happiness or praying for forgiveness? Oh, my stick. I'm helping with my little piece of wood. Oh, total Jesus victory. Total Yeshua victory here. This is how we win, guys. More praying. You know, this is me watching Christians try to oppose Judaism and Jews.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's what I think. These Christians. Okay. So here's Trump's statement. He put it out yesterday. We'll go through it, analyze it. Breaking news. I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which just had one of its greatest moments in history, is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. How messianic. The war prime minister. Bibi and I just went through hell together. Oh, really? In the Situation Room just saying, bum Iran? That's hell? I heard Netanyahu had to postpone his son's wedding. Oh my gosh. Poor Netanyahu. What hell? Talk about hell. Talk about what the children of Gaza have gone through the last 2 years. That would be hell. Trump and Netanyahu going through hell? I don't think so. Fighting a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran, and Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. Man, what do they have on Trump? Even after this is after his Israel shouldn't be bombing Iran. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Everybody's like, oh, he's turning on Netanyahu again. And then you all got pie on your face. You're all embarrassing yourselves again when he puts out this statement. A lot of talk about, oh, Epstein, he must really be in the Epstein tapes. He's always been like this. The Rumble rants are going to play in just a minute, guys. I'll get him turned on after the intro. Yeah, the biggest Shabbos goy. I saw a meme, you know how I covered in the last stream. Top Gun was predictive programming to get everybody on board with bombing Iran's underground facilities. Well, I saw a funny meme. It was Top Goy with Trump and Netanyahu. Trump is Netanyahu's top goy. Top Shabbos goy for Israel. He has incredible love for the Holy Land. Anybody else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi Netanyahu is a warrior. Oh, how messianic, like the warrior Messiah. Like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel. And the result was something that nobody thought was possible. A complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. And it was going to happen soon. And they're already talking about they moved it away. They didn't completely destroy it. Other countries are talking about giving them nukes now. This isn't over. They're just like trying to take a victory lap and pat themselves on the back and act like they're a big success. We were fighting literally for the survival of Israel, and there is nobody in Israel's history that has fought harder or more competently than Bibi Netanyahu. Despite all of this, I just learned that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of this long-running. He has been going through this horror show since May of 2020. Unheard of. This is the first time a sitting Israeli prime minister has ever been on trial. The corruption charges began long before this. Now Trump is trying to use his leverage to keep Netanyahu in power, to throw out this corruption case, to get him off the hook as if he's above the law. Remember, Alex Jones, when this first happened too, said, it's a globalist coup and it's Soros and they're coming for Netanyahu, running cover for this. Everybody's like, oh, Trump hates Netanyahu. He's going to turn on Netanyahu. Ian Carroll's on Joe Rogan saying, I think he's running a coup against Netanyahu. Does this look like a coup against Netanyahu? When he's taking Gaza for Netanyahu, when he bombs Iran for Netanyahu and says they've been working together as close as any partners ever, the Zionist partners in crime. people are like online, I didn't vote for this. You are too naive to see that Trump and Netanyahu were a package deal. Politically motivated case concerning cigars or a Bugs Bunny doll and numerous other unfair charges. There's a new documentary out right now going over the trial and the corruption. I need to watch it. We need to watch it on stream. If anybody like has the link or if they've seen it, not today, but we will do a stream where we watch that. In order to do him great harm. And what has the accusation always been against Netanyahu? Even Bill Clinton just came out and said this the other day, that Netanyahu is pushing for these wars so he can, because he's in political trouble, so he can stay in power. And Trump makes it more transparent than ever that that's what's going on here. It's more than just him trying to stay in power, but that's definitely a big element of it. Such a witch hunt for a man who has given so much is unthinkable to me. He deserves much better than this, and so does the state of Israel. Netanyahu's trial should be canceled immediately, or a pardon given to a great hero who has done so much for the state. Perhaps there is no one that I know who could have worked it better harmony with the President of the United States, me, than Bibi Netanyahu. It was the United States of America that saved Israel. And now it is going to be the United States of America that saves Bibi Netanyahu. This travesty of justice cannot be allowed. Hey, where's Alex Jones? I just saw Nick Fuentes on with InfoWars the other day, and they're saying Trump's turning against Netanyahu. They're still pushing the psyop. Trump turning against Netanyahu. Alex has been huffing and puffing and ranting and screaming about Netanyahu and our president being Netanyahu, but you're still shilling for Trump. With all of this travesty of justice cannot be allowed. Pretty pathetic, pretty disgraceful. Think it's pretty obvious who controls Trump at this point. They're not just BFFs. They own him. If this message here isn't an indication that Bibi's got the blackmail on Trump, or somebody's got the blackmail on both of them, nothing does. Nothing does. Thank you, Trump. Thank you for making things so obvious how you're so owned by the Likudniks and by the Adelsons and AIPAC and Zionist Organization of America. Amazing. Okay, let's get these power chats turned on and hear what you guys have to say so far. And then we'll read Netanyahu's thank you to his BFF, Donald Trump. Let's get these turned on here. Be just a second. The boys are back in town. Trump and Netanyahu. Oh, there's talk of a two-state solution now and a peace deal with Gaza and Syria and Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords. All I predicted.
HTX
Green pill forever.
$5 on Rumble. Green pill forever.
Who told you that Trump is going to get back in the exact way? Talk about all this prophecy or all this peace. Like the shirt idea. What shirt idea? Yeah, peace deal signed. Iran will be back in 3.5 years.
$5 on Rumble.
Right.
Open challenge to the based Christians. They should film themselves at their churches red-pilling their priests/pastors and parishioners about real Christianity, lol.
They'll never do that, and they'd be thrown out and laughed out the door.
Thank
you, Tales of Levant.
$5 on Rumble. The cross is a capital punishment device. Imagine walking around praying with a miniature model of an electric chair.
Imagine worshiping a Jew and then calling everybody else Jewish. All right, thanks, guys. Let's read Netanyahu's thank you now. He says, thank you, real Donald Trump. Oh, that's the Goldberg voice. I was deeply moved by your heartfelt support for me and your incredible support for Israel and the Jewish people. I look forward to continue working with you to defeat our common enemies. Their enemy is Edom and the West. Liberate our hostages and quickly expand the circle of peace and fulfill the prophecies in the Abraham Accords. And destroy Edom and hasten our Moshiach. That's what Netanyahu's about. Here they have billboards now in Tel Aviv calling for the Abrahamic Alliance, the new Middle East. Look, there's Abbas. The new Syrian leader, Abbas of Palestine.
$5.
Thank you, Topher. Who told you Trump was going to get back on in this messianic way? Promise saving us from World War III. Talk of a peace deal with the West Bank now. That's what we're seeing. And then the Gog and Magog war with Iran, Russia, and China. So what is that? UAE, Qatar, I think maybe Turkey, Jordan, Abbas. Chance for a new Middle East with Trump and his covenant of the many and his messianic antichrist peace deal that's going to fall apart. Oh, wait, 3.5 more years in Trump's presidency? Isn't that interesting? Press secretary says the Gulf and Arab partners are going to come to an agreement now that this thing with Iran has transpired. A new era in which Gulf and Arab states can sign on to the Abraham Accords. And to do that, like I said, there's going to have to be promises about a two-state solution and a recognition of a Palestinian state in the West Bank and annexing lots of land for Israel as well, too. I'm going to pull that up.
The president wants peace. He always has. And right now we're on a diplomatic
path. The Prince of Peace. He's the Prince of Peace. The rabbis told him.
And his team, namely Special Envoy Witkoff, continue to be in communication with the Iranians and especially our Gulf and Arab partners in the region to come to an agreement with Iran. As for our alliance with the State of Israel and that friendship and that partnership between the United States and the State of Israel,
eternal love bond,
stronger. And
never been stronger.
A new era in which perhaps some of these Gulf and Arab...
A new era. It's the new messianic era, Goy. Right? The new era. The Trump messianic era.
Accords. That was one of the president's most signature accomplishments in his first term, and he'd like to see more of those countries sign on in this second term. And so we look forward to sustaining a long and durable peace in the region, and the president wants to do that through a diplomatic solution. But as he proved on Saturday night, he's not afraid to use strength if we need to do it. The president wants peace.
Okay, here's more about the strike, but let's get show some of this. This is being covered everywhere now today. Iran has reportedly uncovered an alleged Israeli plot to carry out a false flag attack on U.S. soil. Who could have imagined that? Who's tired of all the winning? Now, whether or not this is even true or just a rumor, we know this is up their sleeve. We know this is their MO. We know they have this false flag card that they can pull at any time, attack America, blame it on Iran, allow an attack to happen, and all of this peace with Iran, all this stuff, it'll fall apart and all hell will break loose. After Trump comes and saves the world and offers peace and negotiates peace, the Abraham Accords, the covenant of the many, after a few years, it falls apart and all shit hits the fan and the West is destroyed and Trump is scapegoated. There we go. Iran has reportedly uncovered an alleged Israeli plot to carry out a false flag attack on U.S. soil, intending to detonate explosives and blame Iran in order to spike a war between the two nations. Well, they didn't need to have to do that yet, did they? They didn't even have the courtesy of giving us a false flag this time because they got Zion Don back on the throne, and he bombed them and helped wage war by deception and lie all the way along the way to do it. The plan was exposed with the help of intelligence from a friendly country. Upon discovering the scheme, Iran alerted U.S. officials, leading to the prevention of the planned attack. Oh, man, it's all so ridiculous. Here's Netanyahu's latest statement. He says, "We fought fiercely against Iran and achieved a great victory. This victory opens an opportunity for a dramatic expansion of peace agreements. We are working on this vigorously. Alongside the release of our hostages and the defeat of Hamas, there is a window of opportunity that must not be missed. Not a single day should be wasted." I can't wait when they announce this two-state solution peace deal with the West Bank and Abbas, and I go back, and you guys help me go back and find all the times I predicted that was going to happen. It's eerie how many predictions I've been saying getting right. And I'm not a prophet. It's just like studying this stuff every day. and knowing their script and understanding the prophecies and how they work as a blueprint of predictive programming, it just becomes obvious. Okay, now here's some of the details of what's, oh, by the way, here's that. At the same time that their that this alleged plot got revealed, New York Post, the Zionist New York Post, says, are we at risk for an Iranian sleeper cell attack in the USA? A lot of people are speculated July 4th. I'm guessing probably there's going to be a whole lot of celebrations of peace and Abraham Accords expanding before the big event happens, let's say. But can they signal this anymore? Can they prepare everybody's mind and condition everybody's mind for this any more than they already have? Maybe we need to wait for the Hollywood movie to come out where there's a Iranian sleeper cell attack. That'll really get everybody prepared. Here's The Economist out today. Donald Trump has managed to bomb Iran's nuclear program and immediately impose a ceasefire without a single American casualty. Has his gamble paid off? How to win peace. Peace through war. There's that bird of peace again. With the bomber. The peace being carried by the bomber. And what was this other one that we had too? Oh, we played that already. Okay, let's see these deal. Major breaking: Trump and Netanyahu Gaza deal. They agreed to a Gaza warfare termination. Gaza hostilities will conclude within 2 weeks. Ending conditions will encompass 4 Arab nations, Egypt, UAE, to administer the Gaza Strip, replacing Hamas. Even the PLO leader Abbas has called for the replacement of Hamas. That's another indication that they're about to make some deal for the West Bank to have some type of statehood. Too many are aware of their Hegelian dialectics. Not enough are aware. We're aware. If you're in our echo chamber, if you're on our corner of the internet, people get it. But no, the based and red-pilled and Christians and Muslims, they definitely don't get the Hegelian dialectics because they're playing into the antithesis Judeo paradigm more than anybody. The Christians and the Muslims with their controlled opposition religions. Okay, the remaining Hamas leadership will face exile to other countries while the hostages gain freedom. Multiple nations globally will accept numerous Gaza inhabitants seeking immigration. So maybe Jordan, Egypt, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, a bunch of European countries probably too. Abraham Accords expansion will bring Syria. That's why we saw the fall of Assad in Syria, right? Saudi Arabia, they've been on board with this for a while. And additional Arab and Muslim countries to recognize Israel and establish official relationships. Israel will declare its willingness to future Palestinian conflict resolution under the two states concept, contingent upon the Palestinian Authority reforms. And this is such bullshit. Look at this language. Israel will declare that it's willing to have a two-state solution if they reform, which they'll just claim they didn't reform enough. They didn't reform the right way. They didn't agree to all the reforms. And then, so they may promise a state. They may talk about a state. They may talk about the Jared Kushner deal of the century. Jared Kushner, who's working with Witkoff on this, by the way, behind the scenes, and Trump. But it ain't going to happen. Only temporarily, if anything. And the United States will acknowledge limited Israeli sovereignty implementation in the West Bank, which translates to mean they're going to recognize all of the illegal settlements and Israel will annex them all. So that's what's going on today. Here's the Republican Jewish Congress clip of their talk about Iran. Intel leak.
Despite agenda-driven leaks by the fake news media aimed at undermining this incredible accomplishment achieved by President Trump and our brave fighter pilots, there is broad consensus emerging already that Iran's nuclear capabilities were indeed destroyed. The United States, Israel, the United Nations, and even Iran all agree they can no longer build a nuclear weapon. So
Really? Really? They didn't move them out of the way? They don't have other facilities? Other countries can't give it to them? What's funny is, like, I'm saying this now, in a few years or a few months or maybe even weeks, they're going to be saying, uh-oh, the new threat, they're not listening. In fact, I'm seeing now that Iran is, like, officially pulling out of, like, the international inspections for nuclear facilities. Yeah, Jared Kushner stays winning. That's true.
Why did the president immediately turn to obliterating, after the Iranian nuclear threat, securing peace? Within 48 hours of the devastating strike, President Trump and his team brokered a historic ceasefire between Israel and Iran and officially ended the 12-day war.
So crazy how they already got it branded the 12-day war. I did a ChatGPT search asking about, like, 12-day wars, anything in Jewish literature. It didn't come up with anything. I mean, I know there's, like, the 12 tribes of Israel, but it's like the only significant thing I saw that could be related to this 12-day war. In the 1967, there was the 6-day war, and this one was twice as good, and it's the 12-day war, and it's so much better, and Netanyahu, your warrior prime minister, is such a hero. He should be let off all corruption charges. We're saving the world. It's the new messianic era. World peace like the prophets foretold.
The Middle East is now shifting away from chaos and bloodshed and moving toward the beginning stages of a new era of peace and stability.
Whole lot of chaos talk too. I keep hearing this word chaos everywhere. That's also Kabbalistic.
President Trump has long called on them to achieve. This was unthinkable at this time last week, and this is what peace through strength looks like.
Okay. I don't believe you. I tried to get that soundbite. From Anchorman, but it had a lot of background music around it. All right. Here's... I don't know why this one wasn't playing earlier. Let's refresh. Okay, I don't know what the deal is, but this one doesn't seem like it wants to play. All right. She claims that there's no indication that any enriched uranium moved prior to the strikes. They're saying that now. They're going to change it. Remember, Trump promised on his campaign trail that he was going to end the war in Ukraine. He's at NATO right now, by the way, where they're calling him daddy. He's like, just the king of NATO, the king of the Middle East, the king of Gaza, the king of America, the king of the world. It's Trump's world. The new messianic era Trump world. But he promised to end the Ukraine-Russia conflict in one day. He said it's going to be so easy. One phone call can do it. And now he's saying it's more difficult than people would have any idea.
You once said that you would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. You later said that sarcastically.
Well, of course it was sarcastic.
But you've now been in office.
Oh, of course it was sarcastic. Oh, you believed me when I said I could end the war in one day on the campaign trail? Oh, you believed my bullshit? It's so ridiculous.
Office for 5 months and 5 days. Why have you not been able to end the Ukraine war?
Because it's more difficult than people would have any idea. Vladimir Putin has been more difficult. Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days. That was.
Hold on. He's blaming Zelensky again? It's Zelensky's fault? Zelensky's fault? I just ended the war in 12 days. The 12-day war. I love how it was all of the Zionist apologists were like, we're not at war. It's just one bombing. It's a peace bomb. We're not at war. And then afterwards, it's Trump ended the war. They're all such liars and flip-floppers.
You may have read about them. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days that was simmering for 30 years, frankly. We ended...
I'm sure it's totally over, too. He tweeted that there's a ceasefire, so I'm sure that they're just going to be BFFs now for here on going forward. Easy to end a war when you start it. Good point, armchair quarterback. That is true.
Rwanda and the Congo. It's coming to sign the documents. We've already signed basic documents, but they're coming, I think, to the White House on Friday. We ended, Serbia was going to go at it. But maybe the most important of all, India and Pakistan. And that wasn't whether or not they may someday have nukes like we're talking about in the Middle East, like we're talking about with Israel and Iran. This is they have nuclear weapons. I ended that with a series of phone calls on trade. I said, look, if you're going to go fighting each
I saw a headline somewhere that they're like, Trump had nothing to do with the conflict in Pakistan and India.
other,
Nothing to do with
getting
stopping
very
it.
bad. You know how bad that last attack
Not
was.
that it
It was
stopped.
really bad. If you're going to go fighting each other, we're not doing any trade deal. No, 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 you have to do a trade deal. I said, we're not doing any trade deal. And in fact, I had the general, who was very impressive. The general from Pakistan was in my office last week. You know, Prime Minister Modi is a great friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. He's a great man. And I got them to reason. I said, we're not doing a trade deal if you're going to fight. And if you're going to fight each other, we're not doing a trade deal. And you know what? They said, no, I want to do the trade deal. We stopped the nuclear war. Go ahead.
I love how he just so nonchalantly says, oh, you believed? Of course I was being...
Said that you would.
Oh, you believed what I said on the campaign trail?
You later said you said that sarcastically.
Of course it was sarcastic.
Of course it was sarcastic. He said it over and over and over again. So everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is sarcastic lie. Nothing should be taken at face value. This guy just showed us that he's willing to lie, to wage war for Israel for weeks. He's like, oh, I'm going to think about it for 2 more weeks. No, they're already sending the bombers over. The bombers were already on their way when he's like, I'm going to think about it for 2 more weeks. Art of the deal is to bullshit everybody on the campaign trail that you're going to end the war, and then you don't. Oh, you believed I was going to lock up Hillary? I was being sarcastic. Oh, you believed I was going to build the wall? Sarcastic. What? You're stupid enough to believe me? You said I was going to be America first? Sarcasm. Good one. You fell for it. Stupid goy. The only promises he keeps is to Israel. Promises made, promises kept. Okay, now this is a wild story. This lunatic, who a lot of people yesterday were trying to claim he's Jewish. He's not Jewish. He's a Christian. He's a Noah. Oh, no, not a Christian. He's a Noahide. He's a Gentile that is obsessed with the Old Testament. He's got God's name tattooed on his neck. He hates the Trinity. He hates Christians. He thinks it's idolatrous. And he had a plan to go out and murder a bunch of Christian pastors.
I want the death penalty because I want to show you can't kill God's son. That whole story is BS.
So if you're given the death penalty,
Well, that's true.
it's not likely you'll be executed quickly.
Well, I want it quickly so that we can get this show on the road and show exactly what I'm trying to do. Oh, all you got to do is just worship Jesus and you go to heaven. Your sins are all forgiven. That's not what God said.
But do you think God was going to forgive your sins?
Absolutely, he'll forgive my sins. He's a forgiving God. He's
How
a
do you-
loving God.
how do you
Dude,
justify that?
this is what I worry about. Some schizo lunatic online that's online every day, like, Adam's a Jew, Adam works for Mossad, he's an antichrist, that's going to try to kill me. There's lunatics like this out there. You know how many spurgs and complete schizos with mental illnesses are on the internet just seething about me every day? In the name of Jesus, I took out that pagan antichrist. Here, I want to play this part, actually. though.
Adam Schiff, this man
No.
right here, he's
Oh, is he? Great. We share a name, too. All right, let's do the Fox local, and then we'll do the full interview.
Adam Schiff, this man right here. He's accused of killing New River pastor Bill Scheineman, and he admits to our camera, to our Lauren Clark, that he is responsible for that brutal murder.
He made no bones about it. He says this was part of a plan to kill 14 Christian leaders in 10 states across the country. Lauren Clark now joins us live to explain, and we've got to warn you up front, these details are disturbing.
No, he's a righteous Gentile. He's a Noahide. He's a Shabbos Goy. That's what he is. And we're going to show you some of the clips of the rabbis that talk about the punishment for idol worship, which very likely is the theology that inspired him. Not very likely, definitely.
Well, John and Ellen, first of all, before I go into the details of that interview, I want to start with the man who is the victim in this case. I think that is super important. Pastor Bill Scheineman. He was beloved in his community. This was a man, according to people who knew him really well, who would do anything to help out a person in need, a light in his community, a light that Adam Schiff admitted to me right here in the Coconino jail about 2 hours ago that he took. He showed no remorse or regret for his actions.
No, because he's doing it in the name of God. Because he's a devout, God-fearing Noahide. He thinks he's being moral and doing the righteous thing and doing what God wants. That's why these religious people are so sick. Follow religion to its logical conclusion, and you get mentally ill shit like this.
$5 on Rumble. This is your brain on Yahweh.
This is your brain on Yahweh. Very true.
Led into the room in shackles, Adam Christopher Schiff admitted to murder.
Did you kill Pastor Bill Scheineman?
Yes.
He justified his actions with religion, citing his twisted belief that Christian pastors are leading people into a false path by following Jesus. He said Pastor Bill was...
Because it's idol worship. The Trinity, they believe that Jesus is God. That's the violation of the first Noahide law. He's going to mention over and over again, oh, they're in violation of the first commandment, the first commandment. That's no idol worship. That's that God is one.
Was the first in a plot he called Operation First Commandment, aimed at killing...
Operation First Commandment of the Noahide laws.
And then crucifying 14 Christian leaders across the country. He admitted that
crucified him.
2 priests at the Chapel of the Holy Cross in Sedona.
What? That's such an amazing church. I've been to Sedona. It's an incredible place. I've seen this actually.
Before he was arrested by police.
The day that I was going to execute that priest, I tried getting into the back of his car, and there was like an older lady that was on like a small little bicycle that got into my way. And I was just going to get into the back seat and tell him to drive to his house.
I asked if Adam was ever victimized by anyone in the Christian faith. He said no. He said his family is Christian and that he had a good childhood. He denied being mentally unwell.
But Pastor Bill, speaking to people who knew and loved him, his family, he helped people get back on the right track in this world. He helped a woman who was living out of her car go into a house and get her life back on track. Do you think what you took was precious or...
Hold on. By the way, this is like only a few people are posting this online. It's on Twitter being covered. A local Fox News covered it. If this was like some Christian nationalist that went out and tried to do this to a bunch of rabbis, it would be absolutely everywhere. The president would be commenting on it. Every single mainstream news would be doing whole specials on it. The ADL would be all over every single mainstream media doing a tour.
Or valuable in any way?
Adam answered that question with a religious tangent. He said he was not sorry for what he did.
Will I apologize for my actions? Absolutely not.
Adam also told me that he had used drugs before, but he did not believe that that is impacting his mental state. He also said he would be okay with execution. Reporting live here in Flagstaff, Lauren Clark.
Noahide nut. This is your brain on Yahweh. So here's another.
Execute and crucify the priests that are leading the flock astray.
They're leading the flock astray. They're seducing the Goyim to idol worship. They need to be Noahides. They need to worship the God of Israel and his chosen people.
All right, this is tough to listen to. Chilling confession from the man accused of killing a well-known pastor.
Looks like a rabbi.
North of the valley. Adam Schiff tells 12 News he planned to execute and then crucify more than a dozen priests before he was arrested.
Or crack.
Pastor William Scheineman of New River was his first victim.
Hi, Mr. Schiff.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Dude, nutcases, mentally ill, gravitate towards religion, and religion makes people that are already a little wonky do crazy things. Yeah, like the guy that body slammed the Iranian boy the other day. Mental illness and drugs and being being inspired by these delusional religions.
What's up, guys?
Okay, what's up, Paper Jesus? This is Paper Jesus's talk about it, but that's where I saw that other clip. Okay, this is not playing. Hold on. Here we go. Here's the full interview now. Full interview. Let's see what else this lunatic has to say.
Hi, Mr. Chief.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
And yeah, tattooed on his neck is the Tetragrammaton in Hebrew. YHWH, the name of Yahweh.
Hi, Mr. Chief.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Did you kill Pastor Bill Shanaman?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a long story, but to summarize it, Yahweh alone is God. It's the first commandment. It's the most important commandment of them all. The preachers are, in my perspective, are leading the flocks astray. They're preaching that Jesus is God's only son and God also. That's not what God said. Very clearly, he said that he alone is God. It's the first commandment. And so
I can just imagine rabbis watching this and be like, oh, he's following the laws of Hashem. This is what Hashem says. This Goy is right. I wonder if the rabbis think this guy's going to go to the Goyim heaven for doing this. Because he is just following what they say. We're going to show you in a second here. Look, here. There's the Yahweh. 7 Noahide laws at Chabad.org. Who's been warning about this as a threat for so long, by the way? Oh, the punishment is decapitation. I'm surprised he didn't decapitate him. Instead, he crucified them. He's going to explain here in the gory details and put a crown of thorns on his head. The first of the Noahide laws is do not profane God's oneness in any way, acknowledging that there is a single God who cares about what we are doing and desires. So a single God, that means you can't believe in the Trinity. You can't believe that a man is God. Believing Jesus is God is a violation of the Noahide laws. He's a righteous Noahide law executioner. That's probably what the rabbis will say. Or they'll be like, oh, no. Not until Moshiach comes are you supposed to do this. This is Islam too. Good point, Armchair Creditback. They view the same thing. It's from the 10 Commandments, though. That's why. Exodus 20. You shall have no other gods before me. No images of God. That's what they get it from. So that's why the Muslims go and they destroy the Buddha statues and the crosses. They burn and take down the crosses for the same reason. And this is why the rabbis say that Islam, they can pray that Islam is Noahide compliant and almost a perfect Noahide religion, and that they can pray in mosques because there's no graven images. They don't depict God, and they believe in the oneness of one God, the God of Abraham, the God from the Torah. We're going to play a rabbi here in a second that I'm sure, I bet you this guy went to synagogues and loved rabbi. This guy's favorite rabbi might have been Tovia Singer. He's one of the biggest Noahide proponents on the internet.
The belief that Jesus is the only Son of God and God, God's laws were annulled entirely. There's 13 tribes of Israel. So what I wanted to do was execute and crucify 13 priests and put one of the tribes of Israel in each of their right ears, which I did with this priest. I put the tribe of Benjamin. And then the 14th I wanted to do for Adam, because clearly Adam was God's one and only created son in his image, is the first story told in the Bible.
So
Paul in the New Testament says Jesus is the new Adam. He's the primal Adam. That you see the primal Adam idea and the Son of Man idea even in the Ebionites and in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
you feel the difference is between regular people that believe in God and pastors or preachers, that there's a
Dude, this is what religion does. These psychopaths think that in the name of their Jewish sky daddy, that they're commanded to do stuff like this. This is your brain on Yahweh.
Huge difference, because the first commandment is the most important commandment of them all. Pornography, drugs, the sanctity of marriage is completely eroded. It's vicious out there. Somebody like me who's been in and out of prison, you know, the prisons are flooded with drugs.
The prisons are flooded with Jesus. They go in addicted to drugs. They come out Jesus junkies. He's like, it's so bad out there. This murderer, sickening.
And I'm thinking to myself, the world is a wreck, you know.
But if you're talking about sin, murder is a sin.
Well, yeah, it is a sin, but God also commanded us to execute anyone that's preaching that someone other than him is God, because it's that serious. They're claiming that Jesus is God and that somebody other than God is God. So what's this Jesus is only God's son garbage that I was raised to believe? That's not what God said.
So,
dude, this is why I call him the Noahide killer, guys. And this is what all the rabbis are on the internet saying. I was told this was a conspiracy theory. I was told that I'm a bad person for exposing that this is a dangerous threat to us all. Rabbis on the internet saying shit like this. Come on.
Well, what's the punishment if you transgress the Noahide laws? Death. Right. Now, technically speaking, I see anyone in a church, you know, and they're bowing down, they're a non-Jew, I can shoot them. Not a problem. So I would say, okay, God spoke to him. This is what he gave them. This is what you have to learn out from them. And the laws are complex. They're like,
so what this Noahide killer just did is exactly what this rabbi is talking about, except he just went out and did it. He was dumb enough to go out and do it. He was evil and drugged up and psychotic enough to actually go out and do it. But there's rabbis all over the internet that think this is what God wants.
Only 7 laws. Yeah, the Rambam has a lot to say. You know, who you're allowed to marry, who you're not allowed to marry. You know, what's considered idolatry for a non-Jew. These things are complex. They're not just, he just bows down to an idol. What if he thinks about bowing down to an idol? What if he doesn't actually bow down? I mean, these are complex questions.
Yeah,
you know,
Goyim,
everything's going to apply something.
Goyim killing other Goyim because they're not worshiping their Jewish God correctly. Where have we seen that before?
Things will apply to a non-Jew that won't apply to a Jew. Some things were more stringent, some things were more lenient. But you know what the bottom line is? What's the punishment? This is what ticks people off also, and that's why you listen. Well, what's the punishment if you transgress the Noahide laws? Death. Right. Now, technically speaking, I see anyone in a church, you know, and they're bowing down, they're a non-Jew, I can shoot them. Not a problem. Now, it is a problem because I'll get thrown in jail. They'll probably throw away the key. But why is that? You don't even have to warn them. By a Jew, you have to warn. You have to say, listen, if you do this, and there are witnesses, by a non-Jew, you don't have to warn. You know why you don't have to warn them? Because it's logical. It's logical according to the Torah.
Sent $5
what's
on
the
Rumble.
punishment?
The Noahide killer's gonna have all the true crime girlies go crazy. Also, let's get some more super chats in here for our goy guys.
Yeah, guys, let's go with the super chats. Come on. It's logical. It's logical. The Torah says so. It's logical. Amazing. Here's another one. God, my computer's running slow right now.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you. But you're crazy.
Okay, here's another one.
I respect you, respect me.
This is a Jew in Israel.
That is the right thing. Are you Jewish? Do you want to honor God? That is the godly thing to do. We respect one another.
The godly thing to do is just to kill you.
The godly thing is to kill me.
That's right. That's what the Torah says.
The Torah says to kill us.
The Torah says that people who worship idols such as yourself, when there is a Sanhedrin,
to kill us.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the Torah says.
So we know how the Jewish people feel about Christians, yes? That you discriminate against Christians.
Christians are idol worshippers.
You discriminate against Christians.
The Torah says that Christianity is idol worship.
Let me ask you.
You worship three gods.
Let me ask.
Well, what's the punishment if you transgress the Noahide laws? Death. Right. Now, technically speaking, not a problem.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Stereotyping Jews is terrible.
Jack Stone says, it's just me or our Christians seem to be getting more retarded by the day? I see it. Like the biggest delusional liars in the world that I see. Especially yesterday, right?
When did this plan come to fruition?
Oh, let's show one more. Hold on. This rabbi, too. This is Chaim Vichman, rabbi of the Temple Institute, photographed with Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, in front of the Dome of the Rock that wants to rebuild the temple. What does he has to say about Noahide laws?
To destroy. We're all children of Noah, right? We're all B'nai Noah. We all are children of the covenant that Noah made with Hashem. We have the responsibility always to uphold those rules, those 7 rules, those 7 mitzvot Noah, the covenant of Noah, the covenant that Hashem emblazoned in the rainbow. It's our responsibility. It is our responsibility to destroy those who abrogate that covenant. Because
it is so I could just imagine this lunatic, this Noahide killer, listening to a bunch of rabbis like this talk about the Noahide laws. That's where he got the idea from. He didn't come up with it on his own. He didn't just go crazy in a vacuum. It's all these rabbis everywhere talking about the Noahide laws. And what does he say? It is our responsibility to destroy those who violate the Noahide laws. So all the Christians and all the atheists out there that tried to attack me for exposing the Noahide laws, this is on you. And it's a way bigger of a problem than just this one lunatic going out and doing this.
It is our responsibility to destroy those who abrogate that covenant, because that means they are of the generation of the flood. If you're not part of the covenant of Noah, then you are part of the generation of the flood.
So if you don't believe in their God and their prophecies and that they're his chosen people and want to be their Shabbos Noahide servants, they will destroy you and they will remove you from this earth. That's what they teach. That's what all these rabbis are saying, and I'm the one that gets banned. They're all allowed on YouTube, but I'm the one that gets banned for drawing attention to this.
Then you are part of the generation of the flood.
And they're going to genocide you, just like God genocided the whole world. The generation in the flood, in the fake flood story.
Generation of the flood, and you need to be removed from this earth. We all are B'nai Noach, and of course, Israel, the Jewish people, we have an additional covenant that imposes even more do's and don'ts that we also adhere to. But as I said, the covenant of Noah is universal.
Jack Stone says the guy in Moscow that slammed the 2-year-old into the ground that's in a coma is an Orthodox Christian. They were all trying to claim he was Jewish. They're all trying to claim this guy's Jewish too. Well, this rabbi is Jewish. But you know what I mean. Adam the Noahide killer.
You're thinking about this. You want to carry out this hit list?
Yes.
A hit list.
Sure.
14 pastors.
That's right. Around the nation. To surround the nation.
Starting in Arizona?
Starting in Arizona, where I was born. Where it starts is where it ends, like the Garden of Eden.
How did you pick out these pastors and these preachers?
I just let the Spirit follow me wherever I landed. And the first one where I went was Olive Street.
Yeah, I hope no spirits are whispering into these crackhead schizo Christians on the internet that are attacking me nonstop. And they try to come do something to me because I'm Antichrist, because I'm leading the flock away from heaven and believing in Rabbi Yeshua. I really do worry about this. Some lunatic out there like this guy that sees me online exposing Jesus. No telling what these lunatics will do.
The Church of Christ, and I thought, well, that makes sense. There shouldn't be a Church of Christ. There should only be a Church of Yahavah.
So you get to Phoenix.
I get to Phoenix. I just set up a tent under a tree on Olive Street, and I followed that priest home Sunday after Easter service. And when he pulled into his driveway, the 2 women came out of the garage. I'm not interested in executing anyone other than the pastors or the shepherds leading the flock astray. So then I said to myself, okay, I need to find pastors or priests that live alone. And so I set up another tent off of a Carefree Highway.
HT said he's more worried that a Christian fanatic would take him out than even a Jew or a non. Me too, honestly. There's way more of them. Who's like lying and attacking me most? It's Christians. The Jews don't even have to even acknowledge me anymore because the dumb, useful idiot Christians don't want to hear the truth. And they're so busy trying to suppress and blacklist, the Jews don't even have to do anything. They just laugh. They go, huh, look at those stupid goy attacking the goyim that knows. That's what they do.
Between 24th and 16th Street, and I was looking at those churches, and then I happened to stumble across the New River Church, and I followed him home, and I saw that he lived alone.
So you had no previous contact with Pastor Bill?
Zero. I didn't want any previous contact. My only criteria was...
Dude, he thinks he's like saving the world right now. He thinks God is just blessing him from heaven. That's why he's so proud of himself. Look at this. So proud of himself. In his mind, he is upright and righteous and moral and just carrying out the will of God.
You're breaking the first commandment.
Pastor Bill was innocent.
Innocent? In your perspective, there's nothing worse.
Not yours.
But there's nothing worse than breaking the first commandment. All you got to do is just worship.
Oh, there's nothing, Christians, there's nothing worse than blaspheming the Holy Spirit. There's nothing worse than saying Jesus is not real. Same thing in Christians' minds.
Jesus and you go to heaven, your sins are all forgiven. That's not what God said.
But do you think God was going to forgive your sins?
Absolutely, he'll forgive my sins. He's a forgiving God. He's a loving God.
How do you justify that? I mean, if you're killing somebody or multiple people attempted,
okay, but
how does that work?
It's a commandment to rid Israel of evil.
You see Bill.
Yeah.
You follow him home.
That's right.
What happens next?
Then I follow him home. I see that he lives alone. All right. I go back to the house, or I go back to the desert where I'm camping. I need weapons, right? I need something to execute him with. So I go into a house. I walk to a house and go into it. There's no one living there.
Yeah, this is legal justification to ban the Bible. It incites genocide and murder. For sure.
And I'm in Phoenix for the tribe Benjamins, the first tribe up, and there's a rifle under the bed that has painted on it, Phoenix Benjamin, which was a pellet gun. But I thought, Benjamin Phoenix, that's what I'm supposed to use. I don't know, it was just crazy coincidence.
You're hiding outside.
I'm hiding outside the house. The helicopter's on top of me. We're maybe 5 blocks from the house because I ran through the mountain. Then I waited for the helicopter to leave. I've done this, I've been in and out of prison, so I know I ran the police probably 100 times in my life.
Oh my God.
So
Dude, I love how the most lifetime criminals, thugs, murderers, rapists, they think they believe in God and they're forgiven and they're the good ones. So many of these people are pieces of shit. And that's why they need Jesus so much, to get over the guilt of all the shitty things that they've done. That's why fucked up people love Jesus and forgiveness and religion so much. It helps them cope with how much of pieces of shit they are. They're desperate for forgiveness.
I leave, and then when I come back to the house later after all the police leave, my car, they confiscated, they took it, so now I don't have a vehicle. So I broke back into the house because I know there's a truck in the garage. I got the supplies I needed to do the execution, and I drove from there to Bill's house, like 2 in the morning on a Sunday night, and I executed him. And then I crucified him by nailing him to the wall, screwing him to the wall. It's fast. I mean, it's, I didn't want it to be bloody. I didn't want it to be a painful. I'm not trying to torture the guy. I just wanted to execute him quickly. So I just put my hand over his mouth and told him to sit still, don't move, and wait until he stopped breathing.
What did you?
It's insane.
The name's sent $5 on Rumble. How funny would it be if this guy was a flat earther too?
I was wondering if anybody tried to look him up and see if he was on Facebook or Twitter or Gab or anything, any social medias. I imagine he has to be on the internet. It's not like he's not living in a vacuum. He had to learn about this stuff somewhere. I mean, if he wasn't on the internet learning it, was he in Chabad synagogues learning about the Noahide laws? They help teach Noahides for Gentiles. And yeah, the Christians online all the time, they fantasize like, oh, you're going to be in the lake of fire. They fantasize about you suffering in hell forever because you're just smart enough to not believe in Jewish fairy tales.
Feel in that moment?
I'm executing a plan, and so in that moment, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to start breathing again. And then I took a stud finder, found the studs in the wall, and I had a power drill, and I put him in the cross position on the wall, and I screwed him to the wall, and then I had a crown of thorns I put on his head, and then
he crucified him against the wall, screwed screws into him, and even, dude, this dude thinks he's in a fucking movie or something. Conspiracy Truther says, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more Christians like this in the future. I know.
a leather strap. I had hammered in the tribe of Benjamin in Hebrew letters, in large letters, and on the other side I had the first commandment in Hebrew letters, that Yahavah alone is God, and I hung that from his right ear with a rusty piece of wire that I had through the leather strap that I already had pre-ready to go. Yeah. So I just punched it through his ear and hung it. So
God is one, Yahweh is one, with a rusty piece of metal through his ear. Noahide, psychopathic killer. Oh, I'm going to be one of the first. Dude, I'm like one of the most hated anti-Christians in the world, especially on the internet.
He's crucified against the wall with the image of Jesus, because what I'm saying is
Jews don't even have to say anything. They already got me banned from all the big platforms. Now there's just a bunch of Christians doing their dirty work, their first line of defense, slandering me and like not wanting to hear the truth. There were hundreds of comments on the internet yesterday lying about me claiming that I'm Jewish. A bunch of Jew worshipers lying that the 6'4" Viking that's shown all the proof in the world that I was raised Christian, that I'm 100% European. And these Christians all over the internet, they'll slander, they'll lie, they'll murder like this guy. What does it say in the New Testament? It goes, for those who lead the little ones astray, tie a millstone around them and drown them.
What you're preaching is not what God said. It's the opposite of what God said.
Most people that would come into that scene, Bill's murder scene, would be horrified.
Good, solid, perfect, sent $5.
Were you feeling satisfied?
I wasn't, look, I'm not, it's not in my heart to go around killing people. Look, he's my daddy. So, you're preaching.
Yahweh, the God of Israel and Zion, is his daddy. His invisible sky daddy told him to go crucify the Christians. And the worst part is, Christians love a good martyrdom, so they're just gonna be like, oh, they hate us so much. Look, they're killing us now. Oh, we're being persecuted. They hate us so much. Everybody should become Christian.
And somebody else is, his son that's not his son. Well, where's Jesus in the Bible?
But I know you also have a family. Bill has a family. Mm-hmm. Did you think about that at all?
No, I'm thinking about the families that are in utter destruction, by following these false teachings and not obeying God and not giving our Creator the respect for giving families life to begin with.
Do you feel remorse for those who lost Bill as their family? Their father?
Well, no, because I lost, I lost he erased my daddy, He's saying that somebody other than my daddy's God. So do I feel remorse?
But your dad's alive.
Well, my human father's alive, but I don't think...
He's talking about Yahweh.
God is my dad.
He doesn't, I think of God as my daddy. Dude, this guy's got daddy issues. They claim, Christians all the time claim that we don't believe in Jewish fairy tales because we have daddy issues. Talk about daddy issues right here. Daddy God wars. And here's the important part too. Everything he's saying is what he went out and did is completely delusional and psychopathic that he acted on it. But everything he's saying about like these Noahide teachings, this is par for the course. This is just normal. He's right about all of this in terms of what rabbis and Noahides believe.
When did that come about?
That came about 9 years ago.
Why 9 years ago? What happened?
A light shot through the ceiling of my cell and into me, and ever since then I see the Star of David.
Did you think you were going?
That's like the same story as Paul. Oh, the road to Damascus, I fell off my horse and I saw a blinding light. And Christians would be like, yeah, I believe it. But if this guy says it, it's woo, cuckoo, cuckoo. But you believe it if Paul says it. He's just a Noahide slave ahead of his time, pretty much. Conspiracy truther.
Going to get away with this?
I wasn't planning on getting away with it. I know who I am. God would never allow me to spend the rest of my life in jail, and he'll never allow anyone to execute me, which is why I said set the execution date right now. God would never, ever, ever sacrifice his son.
If you had 14 that you wanted to carry out,
that's right.
Wouldn't you have tried to get away with this, to try to carry out all 14?
Yeah, I did try to carry out all 14.
But obviously you got caught after the first one.
That's right.
If you would...
Yeah, great job. He's like, yeah, I was going to do 14, but gets caught on the first one. Okay, not exactly the best criminal, right? This guy... That's what Christians will say. This guy needed Jesus.
Gotten away with Bill's murder, where were you going to go next?
That's where I got caught, was Sedona. Yeah, in Sedona. That's why I had my tent. There was 2 priests.
A lot of meth addicts out there in Arizona in the desert, by the way.
And I had both. I was going to do Ephraim and Tribe Manasseh were next. I had both of the leather tags made out, both of the thorn crowns.
Yeah, where'd you get a thorn crown?
In the desert. You know, the trees with the thorns on them. I cut it and make a crown of thorns. I just, in a circle, you know. So I had both of those priests as my target. I was en route of getting into the back of the car of the second priest, and an old lady got in front of me. I lost my vehicle because I got in a high-speed chase with the police in the stolen truck in Sedona. I escaped. I ran up a mountain. I got away from all the cops. I hiked all the way back to my tent. And I was still, you know, on target for those 2 priests. But I wanted my target so bad that I refused to leave, so I hiked all the way back, because the high-speed chase probably was 10 miles. You know, it went for a while. I was going fast. I got back to my tent at like 3 in the morning, got up in the morning.
So had you not been caught, were you planning to murder the next day?
Yeah, I tried that day. I couldn't get into the back. Where the pastors or priest park is right in front of the Holy Cross. And so I thought, man, I gotta follow him home, but I lost the truck. So the reason why I got caught is because I was looking for a vehicle to steal to be able to follow him, which is why I triggered the alarm in that house and went into the garage, hoping there would be an extra vehicle. Had I had a vehicle.
Jeez, it's like you're following God's plan, but everything goes wrong. God wanted me to do this. That's why everything went wrong and I got caught right away. But he's going to execute me and I'm going to go to Goyim heaven because I stopped the idol worship. It's the #1 commandment, man.
Vehicle, those 2 were done. They didn't have a chance in hell.
Your final priest was where you were baptized?
That's right.
Why was that church on your list?
If this guy was just exactly the same but believed in Jesus, Christians would think that he's a better person than us for not believing in Rabbi Jesus.
Was there
It's personal because I start in Phoenix, it starts in the Garden of Eden, ends in the Garden of Eden. I start in Phoenix where I was born on this life, and I'm going to end in Phoenix where I was baptized, which I don't appreciate, when I was 3 years old by my parents. You know, I'm baptized in a belief that is completely false. And from there was Las Vegas, Nevada, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Billings, Montana, Detroit, Michigan, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Mobile, Alabama, Beaumont, Texas, and El Paso, Texas.
Could you imagine if he didn't get caught on this first one and he actually got around and did all that?
My Jewish sky daddy is better than your Jewish sky daddy. So you can't criticize me. Lol.
Thank you, Skalunda, for the big dono. You're the... Really appreciate you for the support.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. My sky daddy says so. Okay. Cuckoo. We're living in the Noahide Twilight Zone here, guys. He's did it for his sky daddy.
So 4 of them are going to get hit in Arizona. So I was circling the United States.
Amon Hillman's brother? Oh my God. I gotta talk to Neil and see if he saw that. Oh, I want to talk to Myth Vision too. Myth Vision called me an evil anti-Semite for talking about Noahide laws. I wonder if he's seen this story. Amon Hillman's brother. Dude, could you imagine if he didn't get caught and he was like on the loose and it was like the Christian killer, the pastor killer. And he really was like doing the crown of thorns. Dude, that would be insane. If all on the loose, all the pastors are scared that they're going to be crucified. That would have been ridiculous.
How'd you pick those states?
Just to circle it.
So you have zero remorse for this killing.
Not only do I have zero remorse, I plan on fulfilling what I started. If my Father puts me in an authoritative position on this earth, I will execute every single priest and burn every church to the ground.
I mean, it's likely you'll be in prison for the rest of your life.
That's what you think. I want the death penalty because I want to show you can't kill God's son. That whole story is BS.
So if you're given...
I want the death penalty because you can't kill God's son? It's BS. What does him getting the death penalty do to prove that? Oh, vindicated.
The death penalty, it's not likely you'll be executed quickly.
Well, I want it quickly so that we can get this show on the road and show exactly what I'm trying to do.
Would you want to be crucified?
It couldn't happen.
But is that
I
something
couldn't so much as dash my foot upon a stone. I mean, the cops, the dogs are coming at me. I saw my Father had angels just direct them to the left, direct them to the right. Not one bit me.
How would you
Wow. He's protected from the dogs. He had a plan to go all across the country and kill all these pastors, but the angels didn't stop him from getting arrested. And now he's proof that he's doing God's will is to be killed in prison. But no, the angels were like saving him from all the dogs, man. He's seen miracles. He witnessed the miracles. He was sitting in prison and saw the light of the Star of David. The dogs were coming after him, and the angels were just like pushing him out of the way. I mean, he still got arrested though.
He crucified you.
Good luck trying. I have the plan to rid this earth of evil.
I mean, do you really think that this is normal?
See, religion makes people do evil things and think that it's righteous. Getting rid of the evil by being evil. You're the evil one. You're the psychopath, and he thinks he's getting rid of the evil. This is how Christians are. They think that slandering me and attacking me, or maybe even doing an attack like this on me, that this is a good thing and stopping evil in the world. This is how twisted just people will be like, oh, you're comparing all Christians to this guy. What he's saying is consistent with your beliefs. He just went out and did it. He's just psycho enough to go out and do it. Remember the black guy on the side of the freeway the other day, or a couple weeks ago or months? The crazy black guy that was fighting with the cop and then beat up the cop and got in the cop car. He was praying to Jesus the whole time. It's almost like this every time. You see a crazy crackhead on the street screaming at the wind. It's usually something about Jesus.
I think these are the end times. These are the last days. I am the lion. I'm called evil, and the preacher preaching that someone other than God, the son of Satan, is God, is considered good.
Did he call Jesus the son of Satan? Where have we heard that before? He just called Jesus the son of Satan.
It couldn't happen.
But is that
I
something
couldn't so much as dash my foot upon a stone. I mean, the cops, the dogs are coming at me. I saw my Father had angels just direct them to the left, direct them to the right. Not one bit me.
How would you feel, though?
He's sitting in jail, and he's like, oh, God protected me, but he's in jail.
Somebody crucified you.
Good luck trying. I have the plan to rid this earth of evil.
I mean, do you really think that this is normal?
I think these are the end times. These are the last days. I am the lion. I'm called evil, and the preacher preaching that someone other than God, the son of Satan, is God, is considered good. And so what did I do? I struck.
The son of Satan is God. He thinks Jesus is the son of Satan. This is what the rabbis believe, that Jesus is the reincarnation of Esau, represents Satan. He's the evil temptation. They consider Christians the synagogue of Satan. They consider Esau and Edom in the Christian West satanic and drinking blood and being idolatrous. Dude, this guy was definitely getting his teachings from the fucking rabbis.
Because I'm everyone's oldest father, and daddy's going to strike.
Do you think?
Yeah, he had to learn this stuff somewhere. This guy didn't come up with this on his own.
Think you're a monster?
Do I think I'm a monster? No.
I mean, but it's a gruesome
evil monster laugh.
Person. Most people would consider that monstrous.
Sure, of course.
But you don't
would.
think you are?
No, I see myself as more of like a saint. I mean, from your perspective.
See, he thinks he's a saint. This is what religion will do. It'll have you go out being evil and thinking that you're an angel and a saint.
That's murder.
Dude, was this guy not on Twitter? Where's anybody finding this guy's social media? Has anybody even looked? What's his name again? Adam Sheaf. I wonder if that's his real name. Here, we'll keep playing.
Thou shalt
Almost
not
over.
kill. That is one of the 10 commandments. But also God commands that if anybody is to preach that anyone other than him is God, we are to stone them to death or we are to execute them. And so I'm following that law. Did God ask me to do this? Absolutely not. I did it on my own because I got sick and tired and fed up.
You're cherry picking certain commandments to follow and not.
Sure.
How do you choose that and why?
Right. So
yeah, I'm cherry picking. Right.
It's a clear commandment. Also,
yeah, it says the punishment for idolatry is to stone them. That's what the Bible says. That's what I've been saying about the Bible. Like how you said earlier that it's inciting violence. Absolutely.
There's a commandment that if somebody is preaching that somebody other than God is God, we are to execute them and rid evil of Israel. So I'm obeying that commandment.
So you're just choosing what works for you?
No, I'm choosing what God's commandments are. So yeah, you'd say, hey, on one hand, God is saying, thou shalt not kill, but on the other hand...
It's still picking what you think matters most.
Dude, what if it turns out that this guy was like going to, like had a Chabad rabbi that was teaching him all this shit? People are saying maybe he wasn't on social media because he's like a drug addict and been in and out of prison. Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't on social media. Well, then where did he learn all this stuff? Because there's no way he learned it on his own. Yeah, it says burn the witches. These Christians used to burn European women, calling them witches because they didn't believe in the King of the Jews. Same thing. It is written.
In the commandments.
Well, then
it's not following thou shalt not kill, clearly.
Well, yeah, but thou shalt not kill is do not hold anger in your heart towards your brethren and strike them where they die.
Learned in prison? Do they have a Noahide network in prison? He got recruited by a rabbi in prison? Yeah, what if it turns out he had a rabbi handler?
If somebody is breaking God's commandments, like...
Why doesn't she ask? That would be number one question. What makes you think all this? Where did you learn all this stuff? How come that question doesn't get asked? Maybe they did ask that question and it didn't get included in this little interview here. They didn't want to implicate any rabbis he may have been listening to. Isn't that a big question? Hey, where did you learn all this? Who is your teacher? Do you practice Judaism? Rabbis don't go to prison, right? Conspiracy truther. No, they do sometimes, but they get a special privileges in like the Jewish kosher area. Why no questions about where he learned this and if he practices Judaism? Or how come the word Noahide? How come he doesn't call himself a Noahide here?
You know,
hey, maybe we should send him letters in prison. Can we do that? Send him a letter in prison and ask him some questions?
During the Sabbath.
You've interpreted this how you see fit.
That's how God, that's the way God commanded it.
I don't think God said go murder pastors. He just didn't.
He didn't tell me to do that. Absolutely not. I did that on my own. But it is a commandment. It is in the Bible that if if anyone's preaching that somebody other than God is God, breaking the first commandment, the punishment for breaking the first commandment is death. You replace who my daddy is, I'm going to nail you to the wall.
That's brutal.
Well, life is brutal. Satan is brutal.
Wow. Guys, he doesn't sound all that much crazier than like some of the people we hear, some of the Christians we hear on these spaces, by the way. He thinks he's a true Hebrew Israelite? He could be a Christian identity. You're right, because isn't that big in prison? That's a prison thing, right? He thinks he's the true Israel. He thinks he's a true chosen person, the true descendant of Jacob. I bet that's what it is. He's a we was kings. You're totally right. I bet that's what it is. Wow. Yep. Is that confirmed, Jack? No, it's not a psyop, dude. People like this are out there. Dude, I wonder. Dude, that's got to be what it is. Some Noahide Christian identity cult. But wait, no, most of the Christian identity people do believe in Jesus. So that doesn't make sense. Hero in his own story. Amazing. Okay, let's see. I have a few more Noahide things while we're on the topic of Noahide laws, because we're going to see this is the clear and present danger now. Like Ron DeSantis with all the Chabad rabbis signing the bill for the moment of silence in the schools so they can teach Noahide laws in schools. This is just the first step of that. Ron DeSantis here at the wall traveled on Adelson's private jet to go sign bills for anti-BDS and anti-Semitism hate speech laws, here with all of his rabbis celebrating his moment of silence, Noahide laws in the schools. Same thing. Governor of Arizona. All right, here's another rabbi. Rabbi says the Noahide laws are a capital offense. Oh, shoot, this is the 10-minute version. I think he says at the very beginning, hopefully.
So all the Rishonim ask another question, which is, we have another halakha on that same daf in Masechet Avodah Zarah, for example, mentioned in more than one place, but that's one of the places.
Anti-Jesus, but for the wrong reasons. Okay, Jack Stone thinks he learned about Christian identity in prison, then took the next logical step and became a Noahide. Probably, yeah. Yeah, down further. Is that not totally true? After listening to so many of these Christians and some Jews in the spaces, like this insanity and Christianity are the same thing. This guy sounded more like well-spoken than a lot of the Christians. They say the same type of crazy shit.
Which states that when it comes to non-Jews, lo moridin wa lo ma'alin, which means what? As it is explained by the Ramban in the Hidushim to Masechet Makot Daf Teth, and as it is explained by other Rishonim, the assumption is, when it comes to a non-Jew whom we do not know, someone we haven't met or we don't know much about him, the assumption is that he does not live according to the Sheva Mitzvot B'nai Noach. He doesn't keep
7 Noahide laws.
And therefore, essentially, this person is Hayav Mitha. He's guilty of a capital offense, whether it's this one or that one, whether it's stealing or adultery or murder or avodah zarah or what have you.
Idol worship, avodah zarah is idol worship, is a capital offense, meaning death penalty. The Noahide law website used to say the punishment for violation of the Noahide laws was decapitation. Chabad's Noahide law teachings, number 1, the prohibition against worship of false gods. Number 2, and that includes the prohibition against cursing God is the second one, so blasphemy. And there's sub-laws too. The rabbis say there's like 60, there's different numbers, many different sub-laws, all interpreted by the rabbis. So you blaspheme God, death penalty. You worship pagan gods or believe that a man can be God, death penalty. And they go, oh, not until the Messiah comes, though. Oh, and by the way, everybody likes to praise Bill Cooper. Listen to what he had to say about the Noahide laws. Shoot, it's 5 minutes.
So I'm going to read to you something. Public Law 102- Historical Ethical Values from our distinguished...
Bill Cooper was pro-Noahide laws and said people that are warning about the Noahide laws are anti-Semites that are trying to cause division.
To the generations of the future. Whereas the Lubavitch movement has fostered and promoted these ethical values and principles throughout the world. Whereas Rabbi Menachem Shearson, leader of the Lubavitch movement, is universally respected and revered, and his 89th birthday falls on March 26, 1991. Whereas in tribute to this great spiritual leader, the Rebbe,
The Rebbe. Yeah, you sound like you know what you're talking about, Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper, that's what we should call him. Hey, Bill Cooper, sweeping for the Noahide laws. Oh, you're just a bunch of anti-Semites. You don't want to be Noahides. You're trying to cause division between all the Noahide Abrahamics. You need to listen to your Rebbe, goy. So here's the Noahide law article at Chabad.org. A Gentile who worships false gods is liable, provided he worships them in an accepted manner. A Gentile is executed for every type of foreign worship which a Jewish court would consider worthy of capital punishment. He is forbidden to engage in all of them. We should not allow them to erect a monument or to plant an Asherah, that's like a pole, a tree, or to make images and even though they are only for the sake of beauty. See, that's why I got Thor here. Here's my idol worship, Rabbi and Christians. You want to see all the Christians online that are like, oh, you pagans. Oh, every knee will bow, you pagans. You're going to go to hell, you blaspheming pagans. All of this is Jewish law. You are the Noahide foot soldiers, and Jesus, they created Jesus to conquer the pagan world and make you Noahides. Where do they get all their Noahides from? Former Christians.
The events that are unfolding before us
Singer
today is staggering. No one knows the numbers. Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, we just don't know, of B'nai Noach, of people who are coming to the Jewish faith all over the world. It's an amazing thing. This never happened in history. There were always unique individuals like this, but it happened where they're flowing in with such numbers. It's really something completely shocking.
So Tovia Singer's whole goal is to save Jews from the Avodah Zarah, the idol worship of Jesus, and convert Christians to be Noahides. And all the atheist YouTubers bring this guy and roll out the red carpet and say, come, expose Christianity, and never push back on Judaism at all and help him with his Noahide law agenda and his destroy Edom and Western civilization agenda and his chosen people and third temple and Moshiach rule the world agenda.
Get involved in the Messianic movement, but it doesn't take them too long. They are spiritually sensitive enough to figure out that there's no theological difference between what the Baptists believe and what the Messianic movement believes. People wonder, I know this is on the minds of so many dear people who've come to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're perplexed by the status of B'nai Noah. So, Kinderlach, children who are born from above, not from below. Why is it that those who become, I'm going to use B'nai Noach, are so core important to the world?
Look at him. It's so important. The Noahides are so important. And Derek at Myth Vision would bring this guy on all the time to expose Christianity and to convert them all to Noahides. And then he does a video saying that I'm an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist for talking about Noahide laws. I know we've buried the hatchet, but I mean, this still happened. I'm talking about it to prove a point. And he's not the only one. Many Christian Zionists are running cover for the Noahide law agenda as well. And even the Christians that warn of Noahide laws, guess what? You're already Noahides. You're almost perfect Noahides already. Cover that.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu's plan for mankind. I mean, it could be argued very easily that the role of the Jew is to be an Or LaGoyim, Isaiah 42, verse 6, 49, verse 6. That's our job. If we're supposed to be an Or, to who? To the non-Jews. That's our whole...
Optics Prime sent $5 on Rumble. Christianity is a mental disorder.
I mean, all forms of Judaism are. Christians cite this same verse, Isaiah 49:6. Jay Dyer cites this verse and goes, it's proof that the prophecies are real because Jesus fulfilled this. He's the light to the nations. And you read Isaiah 42 and 49, it's all about conquering the Goyim. Straight up.
Purpose. It could be argued that Jews are here to facilitate that the non-Jews would come to know the God of Israel. That's what we're here for.
That's the whole goal of Judaism, to have the Gentiles recognize the God of Israel. And guess what, Christians? You worship the God of Israel. Your gullibility, you being duped into believing these prophecies are real and worship the God of Israel because of Christianity, the rabbis love it. You're fulfilling the rabbi's objectives. And then these idiot Christians attack me all day. I probably saw the tweet 10 times yesterday. There's nothing more Jewish than rejecting Jesus. No, retards. There's nothing more Jewish than believing in the Jewish Messiah and the Jewish God and the Jewish prophecies and calling yourself a spiritual Jew with the circumcised heart. There's nothing more Jewish than that.
We're here to facilitate the Noahide movement. In fact, before the 10 Commandments are given, immediately before, we are told that the Jewish people are an Am Segula, a chosen people. For what reason? To be the Kohen, to be a priest of the world. So why?
The priest to the world, and the Goyim will be our flock, and they will be the sheep, and they will grab, 2,800 of them will grab onto my seat, to my tassel on my garment, and here, we heard God is with you. Show us the way. Let us serve you. That's what they want.
Why is it so special to be a Noahide? It seems to be that Noahide is, at first glance, is Judaism 1.0, and converting to Jew, or being born a Jew, that's Judaism 2.0.
You're Judaism 2.0, goy. And guess what? They consider Jesus less idolatrous than pagan gods.
Speech is incompatible with freedom of religion if the religion has blasphemy laws.
Yeah.
Freedom of religion must go. It was never a good idea.
Yeah. They say America's built on Judeo-Christian values. We're a Christian country. We're based on the Torah. You'll see people say that all the time. Pretty sure America has free speech and not blasphemy laws. At least we're supposed to have free speech, because they basically are enacting de facto Noahide laws and blasphemy laws with the anti-Semitism laws and the censorship and the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. All right, what else do we have here? Look at the sweeping.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I am about sick of
scripture.
All this Noahide business, too.
Yeah, get over it. Get over the... Guys, let me tell you something about the Noahide. Mm-hmm. Get over it. Guys, don't worry about the Noahide laws. This is a...
The names sent $5 on Rumble. The amendment should have said freedom from religion.
Yeah, not freedom of religion. In fact, freedom of religion that the Christians promote, this idea of freedom of religion, gives freedom of supremacist rabbis to want to destroy your country. If I was king, there would be no freedom of religion. So here's Pastor Begley, some Christian Zionist stooge, saying, don't worry about the Noahide laws. The prophecies don't say anything about Noahide laws. I hate when Christians do this. They go, don't worry about the rabbis and their prophecies because our prophecies are going to come true. They don't have the prophecies right. They say that like, oh, thanks. That's real reassuring. It's like saying, don't worry about them being the Israel. We're the true Israel. Okay.
Here, flat earth, the Mandela effect, this is about the same thing. It's going.
You know, imagine saying that the Noahide law agenda is like flat earth with all the proof that we have of it.
Nowhere, it has nowhere to go. The real problem you have is the beast kingdom that's going to rise. I mean, I have to just tell you the truth because there's so much of this garbage out there on the internet that people are confused by, and they really do. They get confused. The people who hate Jews, the anti-Semitics who hate Jews, also hate Christians. They start out by hating Jews, and then they turn on the church. Watch what I'm telling you.
It's because Christians are Judaism. Christians are Jewish. It's a Jewish religion. It's called being ideologically consistent.
Every person, there's people out there who say they're part of the body of Christ. They attack the Jews, attack the Jews, attack the Jews. And
they're attacking Israeli News Live right here, by the way.
Then you know who they turn on next? You. They turn on the Christians. Because if you Christians don't do what they say or follow their ideal of thinking, they turn on you. And they begin to blame you and say that you're a partner and that you're some kind of Zionist, blah, blah, blah. And they lump you in. Guess what?
Dude, this guy's like the biggest Zionist Christian out there. And he's like, oh, they call you a Zionist. Like, you're a proud Zionist. What do you mean, dude?
What? Guess who's going to do that in the last days? Study your Bible. Who's going to go after the Jews and the Christians in the end time? Who is it, Heidi? Who's going to make war with the saints and the
Satan.
holy people? The Antichrist.
Oh.
So this
Antichrist. People call me Antichrist like that's a bad thing. Yes, I'm anti-Moshiach. I'm anti the King David ruling the world with their one world religion. I'm anti all the going and bowing down to the God of the Jews. Yes. Proudly.
Is actually the Antichrist doctrine coming from the lips of those who say they are a part of the body of Christ.
Unfortunately, for whatever reason or series of reasons, various conspiracy theorists have concluded that the
various conspiracy theorists think the Noahide laws are a conspiracy.
United States historic support of the state of Israel and the Jewish people has gone too far and concluded that certain Orthodox Jewish authorities are preparing the way for the persecution and even execution of followers of Yeshua the Messiah.
Yeshua, this
by
Christian.
Establishing the Noahide laws.
Hey, are any of the e-crusaders on the internet ever in this guy's comments or replies, or any doing schizo videos calling him a Jewish agent? Do they ever do anything to wake up any of their churches? Do they do anything to stop the Christian Zionists that are handing our country over to Israel? No, they don't do anything about that. They kvetch about pagans and make up lies about me all day. That's all they're good for. All they do is enable and run defense for the Christian problem.
As regulations to be followed by American citizens, which includes prohibitions on idolatry and blasphemy. It is thought that the Jewish influence on American politics will lead to
Lying
believers.
Christians are a dime a dozen. I'll go shit.
Oh, dude, they lie. They cease to amaze me with all of their lies.
Being persecuted and even killed for having faith in a Messiah that Judaism corporately rejects. This will probably also lead to the rise of the anti-Messiah or Antichrist, who as the false Messiah will use the Noahide laws as a means to persecute believers as well. This conspiracy theory presumes a great deal about the Orthodox Jewish influence on global politics and is rooted in a great deal of anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist sentiment, certainly extending back to the late 19th century.
And I believe this is what the reason for the angst against the Noahide laws really are.
Here we have these God's laws for humanity that
Look right here. Oh, what's the big deal? They're just like the 10 Commandments. Look, no idol worships. No idol worshiping. They think that the pagan gods are the greatest idols and the greatest threat. They celebrate the fact that Jesus pulled the Gentile world away from their pagan gods into worshiping the God of Israel. Although not in a perfect way and not perfect Noahides yet, still in the right direction. Okay? For these lying Christians. And we got so many clips of rabbis saying this and Christians saying it and scholars and Jay Dyer admitting that Christians are following a version of the Noahide laws.
Everyone agrees is wonderful, but the minute you call them Noahide laws, now all of a sudden panic sets in, and it's like, oh no, those are mentioned in the Talmud, and so they can't be right. It's rabbinic. Well, I really believe those who are opposed to the Noahide laws really are just very anti-Semitic. That's what it comes down to.
You don't want to be beheaded for idol worship. You don't want to be a slave to the Jews and the Messiah in the end times. Well, you're just being anti-Semitic. This is what all the Christians say.
Because how can you be opposed to God's laws? I mean, if something is written in the Encyclopedia Britannica, if the Noahide laws are there, does that mean now we're opposed to Encyclopedia Britannica?
Right now we have almost 8 billion people in the world. 99.999% of them are Reshaim Gmurim. Christians, almost 2.5 billion of them, all idolaters. What do you think? Kadosh Baruch Hu thinks they're tzaddikim?
The Talmud says, why are they called Jews? Because they reject idol worship. And what is idol worship? Anything foreign to the Jewish people. Well, guess what? Christianity was started by the Jewish people. You reject the Jewish people, you're Amalek. Or you reject the Bible, you're Amalek. You don't worship the God of the Bible, you're Amalek. Decapitation. Okay, here's just an old compilation I made of all these rabbis. I want to go back to the Bill Cooper thing. Hold on, here's Myth Vision too, Derek. Sorry, just have to...
When we look at Judaism, look at what happened in the war in 70, right? Before the war in 70.
Hold on.
Jews were totally content living in the empire. It's always some conspiracy. So 1% of the world's population, it's like they rule the world. There's a conspiracy here, and they really want to destroy us all. So at the end, you're either going to become a Noahide, become a Jew, or get your head cut off or die. You know, like it's always some conspiracy. So we shouldn't paint because certain minority groups that are radicals do certain things, and then we want to paint everybody else like.
No, we're not painting every Jew as part of a Noahide law agenda. But the most influential Jewish group, Derek, Chabad, the Rebbe, I don't know if you've heard about them, the Rebbe in Chabad, that is what their goal is. Okay. I want to do the rest of William Shabbos Goy Coper.
Amendment 1 to the Constitution of the United States of America. It's the first of the first 10 amendments known as the Bill of Rights. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise.
We must respect the supremacist rabbis and their Noahide law, Zionist, conquer the Goyim agenda.
The freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. All of these have been thrown in the trash can. You say no? You say they're making separation of church and state?
It's crazy how Derek will say that Noahide laws is a conspiracy, and then he's good buddies with Tovia Singer, who his whole agenda is to promote Noahide laws.
Not so, folks.
And I don't know if I've heard, I mean, privately he's apologized, but I mean, you can have some accountability and make it right. How about a video exposing Noahide laws? You gonna talk about this Noahide killer now?
Not so. I'm going to read to you something. Public Law 102-12.
Okay, so he goes over the Education Day.
Passed to the generations of the future. whereas the Lubavitch movement has fostered and promoted these ethical values and principles throughout the world, whereas Rabbi Menachem Shearson, leader of the Lubavitch movement, is universally respected and revered, and his 89th birthday falls on March 26, 1991. Whereas in tribute to this great spiritual leader, the Rebbe, this, his 90th year, will be seen as one of education and giving, the year in which we turn to
Dude, everybody thinks like, oh, Bill Cooper, he was so good, right? He doesn't even know it's the Rebbe and not the Rebbe. And he shills for Noahide laws here. Yeah, he was good to call out Alex Jones as a phony years ago, but didn't he talk about all types of other kooky shit? Like crazy alien shit and stuff like that? I remember I played a video recently, was going around where he's talking about like, it seems like they're following a script and playing out their prophecies of Revelation, or it's real. And I think he believes it's real, right? His book was Behold a Pale Horse, like as in the Revelations and Apocalypse.
And charity to return the world to the moral and ethical values contained in the 7 Noahide
Christ cuck, yeah. This is why you can't have Christians leading the opposition to the New World Order. Zionism and the New World Order.
This will be reflected in an international scroll of honor signed by the President of the United States and other heads of state. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled that March 26, 1991, the start of the 90th year of Rabbi Menachem Shearson, leader of the worldwide Lubavitch movement, is designated as Education Day USA. The President is requested to issue a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe such day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Now, I have several comments to make about this, ladies and gentlemen. Certain racist scumbags in this country are trying to stir you up and tell.
So anybody that is talking about Noahide laws are racist scumbags trying to steer you up. Oh, super based. Super based, William Coper.
Tell you that the Jew Talmudic laws, Noahide laws for Goyim, now is U.S. public policy, and it means decapitation for Christians. Christians would be considered guilty of violating law number 2, thou shalt not blaspheme God, because Christians believe that Jesus the Christ is God manifest in the flesh, and this Christian belief is blasphemy to the religion and tradition of the Jews.
He doesn't even get that right. That's not what's blasphemy, that's idolatry.
The Noahide laws developed by the Jews provide for their execution of every Christian on the face of the earth by means of decapitation. And if you fall for this, you are a fool. For what I just read to you, Public Law 102-12 designates March 26, 1991, Education Day.
Dude, nobody's saying that law means they're going to be decapitated. That law is acknowledging the 7 Noahide laws that do say that in the Messianic times, the punishment for idol worship is decapitation. He's trying to conflate the two. Some rabbis believe they violate the first law. Well, they could believe that it's blasphemy too, but more specifically, it's idolatry. I mean, you could argue that idolatry is a form of blasphemy.
USA. It does not.
You're base truther, sir. Thank you. Sempiternal.
All the 7 Noahide laws. And anybody who wants to can get Public Law 102-12. Which was House Joint Resolution 104, dated March 20th, 1991, and read it. These people, once again, are trying to pit Jew against Christian.
Oh no, the horror! Trying to pit... the Christians and the Jews need to come together and all worship, sing Kumbaya and worship the Messiah together. What is this? People think Bill Cooper was based? Did you hear that a little closer?
Trying to pit Jew against Christian.
Those evil racists trying to pit the Christians and the Jews against each other. How dare they? How dare they? Bill Cooper's like, how dare you, racist? You all need to listen to the Rebbe and worship Yeshua together.
Now, if you're a fool, jump right in the tank. Somebody will slap you down. If you're smart, you'll get the law and read it and realize that you're being scammed by these scumbags once again.
Nobody says that law talks about decapitations. The Talmud does. Maimonides does. Chabad's website does. The rabbis all over the internet do. He's trying to split hairs. I'm like, well, it doesn't say it in the bill. Yeah, no shit. You think, is anybody claiming that the bill says that Christians are going to be decapitated? Obviously, the government bill isn't going to say that. It waters it down and calls it Education Day. And that's why they're trying to target the education system. And now today, I don't know when this was done, maybe the 90s, we have...
Malik Information League said $5 if 100 rabbis call for mass death penalties. You're just an anti-Semite. You're assuming they have that much influence. But if one random white supremacist does something, it's literally in their Holocaust. And we need to ban all hate speech now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the Education Day is no big deal. Now we got all these Zionists. And, I'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. This was long ago. Maybe he hasn't seen any of the rabbis online talking about it. Maybe he didn't see our politicians doing their Noahide law moment of silence with all the rabbis. But still, this is why he was a Christian, right? This is why Christian opposition to Jews has failed.
Again, while they pit us one against the other, they run around behind our backs, putting the chains on the ankles of all of us. White, black, Jew, Muslim, Oriental, American Indian, it doesn't matter. Racism is a plague upon mankind.
So now worrying about Judaism and their Noahide law agenda to have all the world worship their God according to the Bible, he says that's racism. Okay, Rabbi Cooper. It's racism to not want to be a Noahide slave. Okay, Rabbi Cooper. Shabbos Goy Cooper. Oh, look at his kids, too. He's got her grandkids.
And racist are the germs that infect the body human.
The body of Christ. There you go. Super based. Wow, we're already at 2 hours. Nowhere near the goal. Not even the old goal that I raised up a little bit. Typical boomer mindset. Yeah, typical Christian mindset. All right, let's do a little bit of this Anti-Semitism Awareness Act hearings, starting with Jared Moskowitz.
There is one thing that is uniting the left and the right, and that is Jews. This is not just a problem on the left. Go look what's going on social media on the woke right. It isn't just some Nazis in a basement anymore.
Oh.
Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding up the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because she wants to be able to say that Jews killed Jesus.
What did I tell you guys? They're going to use the only thing the Christians are complaining about this IHRA definition is that they're not able to blame Jews for killing Jesus. That's the only thing they ever object to. And what did I say? The Jews and everybody else, the politicians, are going to use that to say, to get it passed, to make you look silly. Guys, I know you watch the show. How many times have I been saying about this? What was his name? I just had him on. Chris Brunette. Remember, I argued with Chris Brunette about this because he wrote about it in his blog. They are going to, the Christians complaining about, we can't claim that they're Christ killers. That's going to help them pass this bill. Most people hear that and go, pass that bill. Stop those insane people. Blaming Jews for killing God? Blaming Jews today for something that didn't even happen 2,000 years ago? Jews killed Jesus sounds like flat earth. They're going to get this bill passed through because they're going to highlight your lunacy for wanting to accuse Jews of killing God. Anomaly keeps doing this too. Anomaly learned about the IHRA definition from watching my videos, and he's been talking about it all the time. And all he'll ever say about it is, "Oh, Christians, it names Jesus." I've been correcting him on this over and over again, and he just keeps doing it over and over and over again. And he's basically helping it get passed at this point. When that's your objective, that's your only objection to the bill is we can't call them Christ killers no more. Guess what? Everybody agrees, besides the most lunatics online, that people today accusing Jews today of killing Jesus, saying you're evil because you're a Christ killer. Everybody agrees that's anti-Semitic. That's anti-Jewish. That's like blaming us today for destroying the temple. They cry about blood libels and you're giving them the blood libel. And it's so stupid because you're complaining about them rejecting the Messiah when that was God's plan, that's Jesus's plan, that prophecies had to happen, and you wouldn't have your religion and your scapegoat blood atonement ritual without it. I literally I've corrected Anomaly on this like 20 times, and he keeps tweeting it over and over and over again. And he runs and goes and hangs out with Roseanne just to get a little bit of clout from Roseanne.
Go look what's going on social media on the woke right. It isn't just some Nazis in a basement anymore, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene is holding up the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act because she wants to be able to say that Jews killed Jesus. So this is a problem in both of our houses. And pretending it is not is what...
See how they cling onto that and focus on that. They're going to get everybody to vote for this bill because they think the only thing wrong with it is the Christian. They want to stop the Christians from blaming Jews today for killing Jesus. Do you get that? And that's all I ever hear these Christians object about it. Even if it were true, which it's not, it's completely mythological. Blaming a few Pharisees in front of Pilate saying, crucify him, his blood be on our hands, which you're washed in the blood too, Christian. So what? They're forgiven. Jesus says, forgive them for they know not what they do. So even if it's hypothetically true, which it's not, a handful of Pharisees say, crucify him. So all Jews today are to blame for killing God. Do you know how stupid you look doing that? This is why and Christians know the story. They don't care. They understand that Jews are meant to reject Jesus. That's God's plan. They're hardened. They've been blinded. They'll believe in the end. They know the story. They're okay with it. And they are going to mobilize and be the defenders of the Jews and pass hate speech bills because of these idiot Christians, denying that Jesus is Jewish, saying the Jews aren't real Jews, can't acknowledge that Jews worship Yahweh. They lie and say they worship Satan.
The John Stone Club sent $5 on Rumble. John Selden wrote a book in 1640 about how the Noahide laws are, supposedly, the basis for international law, and the temple was for the whole world. Apparently hasn't been fully translated yet.
Well, that'd be interesting to hear the translation, but like, we don't even need to prove those points. We don't even need the book. They always say, "Oh, the temple's for the whole world. All the goyim all the wealth will flow in, and they will burn incense, and all the nations will worship Hashem together." Dude, guys, Adam Green is right, Jar. How many times have I said that they're going to use this Jews killing Jesus part of this bill to get it passed? God, it pisses me off. Somebody clip this for an Anomaly. I'm sick of it. He's being such a little bitch, too. Like, he used to retweet me, and he even had me on for a debate once, and he got called anti-Semitic, so now he acts like I don't exist. But he'll go run and go hang out with Rabbi Roseanne, and he wants to shill his God bless hats, and he shilled for Trump before the election, too. Now he's trying to act like he's against him. Jesus grifters, man.
One of the reasons why we're not cleaning it up, because we're just saying, oh, you over there or you over there. This is not going well for Jews right now. And it isn't getting better, by the way. We have not yet peaked to where this is going to go. And yeah, we can talk about the legacy media all day long, Mr. Schneider, but that's not where we're losing the youth of this country. We're losing them on TikTok, which is owned by a foreign country, that the president now has extended beyond what the law has allowed. I don't want TikTok to go away, but I want it to get out of the hands of the Chinese. Okay? They are doing the Nazi playbook. They are dividing us. They are fomenting. They don't need to do it with B-2 bombers.
You see, here's the narrative. The rising anti-Semitism in Edom, just like 1930s Germany. The Christian-controlled opposition, the Christian Nazi lunatics on Twitter, exploding everywhere. It's being botted. It's being boosted because they thrive off of the victimhood narrative because they want the hate speech laws. And what happens? All the real Christians, the vast majority of all Christians, they come to the defense and they'll condemn the E. Michael Jones and the Pastor Andersons and the Nick Fuenteses and the Brother Nathaniels. And the true news is, you guys are the controlled opposition villains that they're using that actually give them power. With your stupid opposition. With your kosher opposition. You're not opposed to the Jews if you're worshiping the Jewish Messiah and the God of the Bible. You're not based and red-pilled if you believe in Jewish prophecies. You're accomplices in the conspiracy.
That's not what the Chinese plan is. The Chinese is to get us to fighting amongst ourselves. The Chinese plan is to get us angry and divisive. And the Chinese plan is to start with the easiest target possible, and that is us. And so until we stop doing this, who did what to who stuff, okay, we're not going to solve this. Jews are losing their usual allies, those allies that we've had for decades and decades and decades, groups that Jews have stood up for. We're losing them by the moment, especially amongst young people.
Blacks and Muslims is who he's referring to?
So,
communists?
I'm called a foreign asset, right? That I'm a foreign lobbyist. I mean, it's just endless. Go look, any post I put up, the hatred, the vitriol.
I bet you we can find a post like how much he's gotten from, there it is, 177,000 from APEC. Oh, not a foreign lobbyist, though. You're not taking any foreign lobby money. How dare they say that?
This is not just a problem on the left. Go look what's going on social media on the woke right. It isn't just some Nazis in a basement.
Hold on.
Okay? They are doing this, who did what to who stuff, lobbyist. I mean, it's just endless. Go look, any post I put up, the hatred, the vitriol that's going on. And so I appreciate this hearing, Mr. Chairman, but this hearing ain't going to fix shit. Okay? This is a virus that is spreading. And until we're serious about stopping what's going on online and the brainwashing of our kids, this is going to get worse and more people are going to die in this country. And it is going to be us. I yield back.
And they're going to get their hate speech laws, and they're going to be the eternal victims, and they're going to use this as the pretext for the destruction of the West and Edom, and the Christian-controlled op is helping facilitate all of it. Oh, the Jews killed Jesus. They worship the devil. They drink a baby blood. Jesus wasn't Jewish. We're the real Jews. They're secretly Khazarians. All of these failed talking points are contributing to the problem.
Brainwashing. And so now it's happening on both sides. What you saw, okay, in this strike in Iran, if you look at social media, I want you to understand that there are a lot of people on the woke right that it turned out they hated Jews more than they liked the president, and they picked a side. That's how much they hated Jews.
So not wanting to bomb Iran preemptively, not wanting to get in another entanglement in the Middle East, having our president call for get hundreds of millions from Zionists like Adelson's. And I'm not calling them Zionists like as a pejorative. Like they say all they care about is being good Zionists and good citizens of Israel, and they buy off our politicians.
Picked a side. That's how much they hated Jews.
Not wanting to get in another war for Israel means you hate Jews, according to these guys. All of our politicians like Ted Cruz saying, believing that you're cursed if you curse a foreign country and blessed if you bless them. And he learned in Sunday school that you have to love the nations, defend the nation of Israel. I read it in a book. I read about it in a book. Right next to Noah's Ark and the talking snake and the magical fairy tales that tells me we got to worship the Jews.
And it is people, yes, there's all sorts of bots on Twitter, but it is people with millions of followers, and they are brainwashing. And so now it's happening on both sides, okay? And you know what's happening? It's coming like this. It starts over here, and then it goes, and then it goes, and then you have consensus. And that's where we're headed. And so I'm not debating with you that you're not correct, but I want you to open your mind to understanding that this is a problem everywhere now. I'll yield back.
And I will yield to Mr. Goldman.
Now. Hated all over the world since the beginning of time. It's a law of nature. The Goyim always want to hate and genocide the Jews for no reason at all whatsoever. And then what do? They point and they say, these evil Christians that say we killed God. And this works. Do you not see that this works? All of the rabbis are celebrating, the redemption is near. Moshiach's about to come. The prophecy foretold the rise in hatred would happen. And we will outlive them. All the nations that wanted to destroy us, they're gone and we survive. Now, Jamie Raskin, in the same hearing.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Part of me thinks maybe this is just a partisan problem, that they think that it somehow breaks from Republican ranks if they acknowledge right-wing anti-Semitism in America or anywhere else on the world. But I mean, what if Joe Biden had invited a neo-Nazi?
So they're talking a lot about, they're going to talk about Nick Fuentes. I called this too as soon as it happened. I said, Trump's going to get back into office. They're going to think he's the messianic savior. He's going to actually be the destroyer of Edom and scapegoated. He's going to give everything to Israel and be the greatest president for Israel ever, get all the top Jewish awards. And then they're also going to claim he's Hitler and he's a Nazi and evil white supremacist Christian nationalism. He had dinner with Nick Fuentes. And of course, they're doing it. They benefit from both sides with Trump. And after October 7th, all we've been hearing about really is left-wing anti-Semitism with the college protests and the Muslims and the Marxists. And now that they got Trump back in, and now that they basically conquered Gaza, now they're going to shift it back to the right. The pendulum's going to shift back to the right, and they are going to hit the right-wing anti-Semitism hard. You're going to be crushed. Oh, we're red-pilling. Oh, the great noticing. Oh, the Overton window. They could snap their fingers and take away everything, all your accounts. They're probably all fake and botted anyway.
From Republican, I think he thinks maybe this is just a partisan problem, that they think that it somehow breaks from Republican ranks if they acknowledge right-wing anti-Semitism in America or anywhere else on the world. But I mean, what if Joe Biden had invited a neo-Nazi Holocaust revisionist to come have dinner with him and Kanye West, and then didn't apologize, say he would never do it again, but that's just accepted as a norm? What if Joe Biden had found very fine people on both sides of an anti-Semitic riot that began with a march in front of...
Dude, how are they still running with this lie? Right before Trump said there's good people on both sides, he says he condemns the KKK and the Nazis and the white supremacists and the anti-Semites, but there was good people on both sides. Like, not everybody that doesn't want all American statues to come down is a Nazi, and they're still running with this lie.
synagogue 15 minutes from where my sister lives in Charlottesville with people chanting, "Jews will not replace us."
Yeah, what has the noticing done, see through it all? What is this great noticing and the great red pilling and everybody waking up? What has it led to? More hate speech laws, more hearings in Congress, more Jewish power.
On Rumble. Thank you for your work. I was wondering if you responded to Ammon Hillman's claims, and if so, which stream?
I can't remember which stream. Maybe I put his name in the title. I could find it, but it'd be easier to find it with an advanced search on Twitter. I did a thread debunking on Twitter, and on the stream, I just went through that thread. So that'd be a good start. In short, Ammon Hillman's whole thing is Jesus was a secret pedo and was with a underage boy in the garden before he was arrested. That's all symbolic. It's all myth. It's myth to fulfill prophecy. That boy shows up again in the empty tomb. It has some different meaning of like losing your life and getting it back. It's nonsense. It's a distraction. Ammon Hillman should stop the stupid grift and start exposing the Jesus deception. That's what he should do. Thank you, Connie.
Sent $10 just dropped in to make a dono. We'll watch later. Thanks for all of your work, Adam.
Appreciate you, Connie. This has been a good show. Definitely watch it later.
Jews will not replace us. And Heather Heyer was killed. And all we hear from Donald Trump is they're very fine people on both sides.
All we hear from Trump. See how they're just such liars. I mean, I can expose Trump. I expose Trump every day on my show as a Zionist, giving Israel everything they want. I go out to that No Kings protest, and every sign is Trump. He's a Nazi. He's a fascist. He's a dictator. He's Hitler. And then they lie and say, oh, all he said is good people on both sides. That's not all he said. In the very same speech, he says, of course he condemns the white supremacists and the Nazis.
The worst anti-Semitic mass shooting in American history in Pittsburgh at the Tree of Life synagogue, done by apparently a Lone Ranger neo-Nazi, but we get...
Lone Ranger? The Lone Ranger. We need like a sound effect for a Western movie. You mean a lone wolf?
Dismissive language, like from Mr. Schneider saying, well, we really shouldn't be worried about a couple of neo-Nazis living in the basement. I mean,
White_stag sent $10 on Rumble. Trying to help get to the goal. Sorry, I'm on somewhat of a budget.
Thank you, White Stag. Appreciate you. I understand. You're amazing.
Constituents are afraid to go to synagogue because of neo-Nazis living in the basement, not because of the American Federation of Teachers, not because of the AAUP, not because of the Associated Press. So somehow the people who have great anti-Semitism detectors in major media institutions can't see what it means to have neo-Nazis at large in America threatening people's lives.
Threatening people's lives? If it's an actual threat of imminent harm, it's illegal. And they should face the consequences. What these guys are trying to do is use all you kooks on the internet as a pretext to completely censor everybody. So there's no opposition at all. The stupid Christian and kosher and Hollywood Nazi type of opposition to Jews is going to give them all the power in the world and shut down any legitimate criticism. You realize that, right? I've been warning about that since the beginning.
Repeatedly referred to him.
Now it's Trump and Elon are Nazis and the new Hitlers. And then what do we have? Like the conspiracy people online, like Alex Jones says, no, it's not the Jews. It's the secret Nazis, and it's the West, and it's the Europeans that are making it look like the Jews run everything. But they're really behind it. And the Jews are just the scapegoats and the boogeyman and middle management. So while Elon and Trump are allies with Netanyahu, giving Israel everything they want, bombing their enemies, moving the embassy, giving them Golan Heights, passing BDS laws, anti-Semitism laws, groveling to Jews at every opportunity, getting all the top Jewish awards, and then the Jews in Congress are running hearings, rubbing their hands that Donald Trump is a Nazi.
Trump himself has a disturbing history of anti-Semitic actions. He invited over to his house for dinner at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, Stu Peters running around talking about final solution and all of his kosher anti-Semitism and flat earth retardation and snake venom in the water and the firmament. Yeah, Nick Fuentes calling for a holy war for anybody that doesn't believe in Jesus. Yeah, they give you attention and they put you in the headlines because you help their narrative, not because they're scared of you. They want to highlight you and use you for their agenda. And you're giving them that because it helps you and gives you notoriety.
Nick Fuentes, a vicious neo-Nazi and Holocaust denier and self-proclaimed Hitler lover, yay. He saw very fine people on both sides of the anti-Semitic riot in Charlottesville. He's claimed that prominent Jews in our government were bad Jews, calling Senator Schumer not Jewish anymore.
See, the few minutes that I got on the space, the one time I was able to get Nick, I said, you're the villain. You're the kosher anti-Semitism villain. You're not a threat to them. They're using you. You give them what they want. They give you all the headlines and all the attention and bring your name up in Congress because you help their narrative. Nick, like the biggest anti-Semite in the country worships the king of the Jews, believes the Bible is real. It's never going to work. We can't allow Bible believers to lead the opposition against the Jews. It's the definition of controlled opposition.
Anymore, and repeatedly referred to him as a Palestinian, including just this morning, and said that any Jewish person who doesn't vote for Trump should have their heads examined. Trump himself has a disturbing history of anti-Semitic actions. He invited...
Can you believe at a time when Trump is like going mask off as the biggest Zionist ever, the Jews are in Congress right now crying about him being a secret Nazi? Can you believe it? They've done this with him since day one. It wasn't even a prediction when I said he's going to get back in and happen again. It was obvious. And they're doing it, and it's working, and they're going to win, and we're going to lose if we don't wake up to the Christian deception.
I would say first, the Justice Department. Thank you, Congressman Moore. We have never seen such active, energetic, aggressive enforcement of laws against anti-Semitism as we have seen from this administration. In addition to the task force efforts that you've seen, I would say first, the Justice Department has engaged in a very serious way, which we hadn't seen in the prior administration. We have seen proactive investigations from OCR rather than waiting for complaints to come in the door. We have seen significant outreach. Now, we got that from the prior administration also, but we've seen significant outreach. And we have seen a much more muscular approach using the whole of government, including agencies like GSA that had previously not been engaged whatsoever. So novel, forceful approaches to deal with the extraordinary crisis that we're now seeing. Thank you, Congressman Moore. We have never seen such active, energetic, aggressive enforcement of laws against anti-Semitism as we have seen from this administration. In addition,
hear that? Hear that? Is that winning, guys? Hey, all you shills, help Trump get elected. And look, this is what they've done.
Enforcement of laws against anti-Semitism as we have seen from this administration. In addition to the task force efforts that you've seen, I would say first.
I know this girl. I don't know her personally, but I follow her on Twitter. What's her name? Not looking so good right there, is in the pictures. I forget her name.
The Justice Department has engaged in a very serious way.
Brooke something?
Which we hadn't seen in the prior administration.
That redhead?
We have seen proactive investigations from OCR rather than waiting for complaints to come in the door. We have seen significant outreach. Now, we got that from the prior administration also, but we've seen significant outreach. And we have seen a much more muscular approach using the whole of government, including agencies like GSA that had previously not been engaged whatsoever. So novel, forceful approaches to deal with the extraordinary crisis that we're now seeing.
So they've done more than ever to stop anti-Semitism. They're like, and you're the real anti-Semites. Chuck Schumer's a Palestinian and anti-Semite. You liberals in the tribe and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, you hate Jews. You allowed all the protests on college campuses. You all allow all the anti-Semitism. You tied Netanyahu's hands. You gave $6 billion to Iran, like both sides pointing at each other, calling. That's how you know you're losing, when both sides are calling each other Nazis and anti-Semites nonstop.
Holocaust survivors. This can members that were originally created to combat discrimination, like diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, have in some cases been co-opted to excuse or normalize anti-Semitism. It's not just that anti-Semitism or Jewish identity are excluded from DEI initiatives, but rather that some of this programming reduces everyone to either oppressor or oppressed, sometimes castigating Jews as if Jews were white supremacists, with Jews being told to own our privilege, including Jews who might be descendants of Holocaust survivors.
Oh, they're not supremacists.
Adam sent $10. Adam clearly working hard, delivering the goods with mouths to feed. Let's go with those shekel scores. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, if you want to sign up for Subscribester, $5, $10, or $20 a month, that's a great way to help me support my family and continue doing these streams every day.
This can lead to age-old stereotypes of Jewish power and privilege. Members that were originally
age-old stereotypes. No power at all. They should be exempt from being called privileged. You're not allowed to talk about the power and the privilege of the most disproportionately powerful and privileged and chosen people, and you can't lump them in with all other racism. You can't. The anti-Semitism definition literally says you can't call them racist. You can't compare them to Nazis. Not that I would. Even that's a psyop in itself. Can't oppose them in any way. Okay, let's see here. 2 hours and 23 minutes. Can we get to 200? How close are we to 200? Goal. Here, we'll see here. I'm doing a stream tomorrow with 7Cs tomorrow night. $35 away from 200. If we hit the goal, or it's not even the goal. If we hit 200, I'll do another stream tomorrow. If not, might not do a stream. And that's for real. All right, let's watch John's latest compilation, The Chutzpah of the Self-Chosen People.
And tell them that we are...
We're here for you. The role of a Jew is to be a light to the non-Jews, to be an or lagoyim, as we find in Isaiah. That's the whole purpose of the Jew.
The goal of the nations are to humble themselves before the Jewish nation. If they are able to humble themselves before the Jewish nation, they will gain tremendous blessings.
That is our job. It has always been the job of the Jew, is to show the non-Jewish world that life has meaning, it has purpose.
We have to talk about how we're God's chosen people. We have to look the world straight in the eye. We have to stand strong and proud and tell them that we are the chosen people. So have a little respect, why don't you? And have a little humility, why don't you?
بلغتنا العربية
تهديد جديد للطواقم الصحفية كما نرى على الشاشة. عنصر من الشرطة الإسرائيلية يتدخل أثناء
The world should see that light comes to their life from us, a real light, a holy light, and this how evil will disappear from the world when Mashiach will come, and we already started the period of it.
My name is Mickey.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to play a clip of that rabbi about the Noahide laws. Where is it? Hold on. I have to remove a couple from quick access. Yo, thank you, Aswat.
Sent $5 on Rumble. Thanks for the good show.
Thank you for watching. Oh, thank you, Anonymous.
Sent $10.
Oh, we're getting close to streaming tomorrow. I want to stream, guys. Here's the other rabbi.
So he told me, that guy, that he's trying to learn Kabbalah.
This was the Noahide law rabbi that works with Chabad that was working at the UN. But just a conspiracy of their Noahide law agenda. And here's the Kabbalah, Chabad, I believe he's Chabad, rabbi with him.
So he told me, that guy, that he's trying to learn Kabbalah. So I told him, oh, that's very nice.
Beowulf 914 sent $5 on Rumble. My gods, I hate them so much.
Guess who doesn't say salvation is from the Jews?
$20 on Rumble.
This guy.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate you. Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Awesome. Thanks for coming through so I can stream tomorrow. God, all it takes is a little threats, huh? Appreciate you, Nodmark. All right, here we go. The Goyim asked me to learn Kabbalah. I said, no, just be a Noahide. Just be my servant. Don't learn my secrets.
So I told him, oh, that's very nice. But I'll tell you the truth. You should concentrate in the 7 Noahide laws. He's trying to learn Kabbalah. So I told him, oh, that's very nice. But I'll tell you the truth. You should concentrate in the 7 Noahide laws.
I'm a major in the IDF Reserve. And I'm also a volunteer police officer in the Israeli police. I got a message from the people of Gaza. You better stop running. Anybody who's going to be left in Gaza when we get there, all y'all gonna die. Each and every one of you.
As the prophet Isaiah said, "Unetaticha or lagoyim, liot yeshuati ad ktseh haaretz." I've made you a light unto the nations, bringing salvation to the ends of the earth.
So instead of exposing the prophecies of Isaiah, we got Christian controlled op online that say, well, Netanyahu's a fake Jew, and he's Milikowski, and he's from Poland, and he's secular, and he's the synagogue of Satan. No, dude. They are following the Torah. Or they'll say, it's just the Talmud. It's just the Talmud. Because Christians can't criticize the Torah because it's in their Bible. The Torah is the root of it. The Torah, Yahweh, Moshiach, conspiracy. If you're only willing to criticize the Talmud, you're a limited hangout. If you're only willing to criticize Schofield Bible, which is basically just the New Testament, it is just the King James translation with some footnotes and interpretations, you're not opposition. You're controlled op, limited hangout. Hardly a building left in Gaza. They weren't kidding.
Torah, there is no goodness, because without godliness, there is no goodness. I hope finally,
without our God that chose us, there's nothing good. And anybody that opposes Yahweh and his chosen people is evil Amalek, and we will blot you out.
No, Jack, I hadn't had Owen scheduled yet. When I asked him, I said this week or next week. And I'll probably, thanks for reminding me, I'll ask him and try to get a day set up for next week.
Israel can stand up and say, we are the chosen people and we were given the land of Israel. If you want to be moral and you want to be godly, let us teach you. Sit down quietly like good kids in a classroom.
And the Christians are like, okay, yeah, we all the ortho bros, we wouldn't have no morals without the Jews to tell us what morals are. We wouldn't have any morals without Hebrew scriptures. We wouldn't have any morals without God of Israel. We wouldn't have civilization and architecture and art and militaries and architecture and have babies and morals. We wouldn't have any of that without the Jews. That's like literally the Jewish talking point that all of these Christians regurgitate.
Torah, there is no goodness because without godliness, there is no goodness. I hope finally Israel can stand up and say, we are the chosen people and we were given the land of Israel. If you want to be moral and you want to be godly, let us teach you. Sit down quietly like good kids in a classroom and we will teach you what morality means because you have no idea.
It would be good, of course, to experience a launch here, a different experience.
You know what you got to do? You got to keep a low profile. If you got a fancy car, don't show off with it in front of the goyim. You want to build a beautiful house, don't make it so fancy outside to the goyim.
I've seen lots of accounts cropped out my logo of this video and reposted. It's been reposted so many times. That's what these Christians and Muslims always do.
The neighbors are going to say, wow, look at those wealthy Jews. Keep it inside. Keep a low profile.
Shame on the goyim. Keep going.
The world is collecting all of its wealth, so to speak. But ultimately, who are the ones who will receive that wealth? The opposite who it would seem. It's the Jewish people.
Good mix there. Thank you, John, for that. 85 likes. The epic Jewish supremacy chutzpah of the Jews mix, 85 likes. But, Jesus wasn't Jewish? Christian-controlled opposition post, 50,000 likes.
I mean Hebrews, religion shit, but you guys are Jews for calling that Christianity. And the rabbi and shit, 13 tribes and shit. I swear they hate Jews, but want to be them and accuse others. No.
Yeah, these idiots just, every accusation is a confession. They'll be like, pretty Jewy not to worship the Jewish Messiah. Pretty Jewy not to believe in the Jewish Bible. Pretty Jewy to not believe that the Jews were once chosen by God. Pretty Jewy to not want all the Goyim knees to bow to the King of the Jews.
Greek civilization couldn't have existed without the Jews.
Yeah, right. Neither could the Romans. All right, what else do we have here? Oh my God, we still have so much stuff. Why does it look like that? I'm just going to keep going. Maybe we'll hit the real goal for 3. I'll keep going. You guys keep supporting. I'm going to keep going. We got a few more tabs. But, this woman was on the stage to be the conservative nominee for the president. Michelle Bachmann. Guys, we need a total and complete shutdown of Christianity, and until we could figure out what the hell is going on.
Dominique sent $5. They need to put motion sickness warning before showing these Jews talking and rocking back and forth.
Sitting for a 3-hour show, you need a little rocking to keep the blood flow in the feet, the lower back from tightening up. Oh. Anyway, we need a complete and total shutdown indefinitely, is what we need.
The Bible said that the prophets, we are living in the times that the Bible said that the prophets longed to see. The prophets of the Bible wanted to be alive now. When you and I are alive, they wanted to be alive because of what would happen, what was going to happen. Because it was very clear from the very beginning of the Bible, God gave a special purpose to the Jewish people. We are living.
God, and every Christian's got to agree with that. God gave a special purpose to the Jewish people. They were the chosen. The Messiah comes from them. Oh, they're even the God slayers that fulfilled God's plan to forgive you for your sins with the blood magic ritual. Oh, and they're going to believe in the end. Christianity has preserved and ensured the survival of Judaism so that they have to be around at the end times. They are the shield that defends Judaism and spread the God of the Torah around the world. Christians are clowns, so the battle of Armageddon is raging, and the second coming takes place. When the heavens open up and Christ appears with armies following him on a white horse, I believe that will be us. And what is this guy's name? He's the big Greg Laurie, multi-million-dollar pastor.
And the second coming. But everything sort of builds to the final battles, the Battle of Armageddon. That's based on the root word Harmageddon or Megiddo, because that is the location of the final battle there in Israel. So the Battle of Armageddon is raging, and then the second coming takes place, where the heavens open up and Christ appears with armies following him on white horses. I believe that will be us, because I believe we've been raptured, and then we will return to the earth with the Lord. So if you've ever wanted to go to Israel, this is going to be the ultimate Holy Land tour conducted by Jesus. No, you won't be in a tour bus, but you'll see it from a whole new perspective. And so let me draw a distinction between the rapture and the second coming. The rapture happens before the tribulation. The second coming happens at the end of the tribulation. In the rapture, he comes for his church. In the second coming, he returns with his church. In the rapture, it happens before judgment. In the second coming, Christ returns with judgment. And then he establishes what we call the millennium. The word millennium means 1,000, the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And then we as Christians who have returned with Christ will rule and reign with him during the millennial reign. And then heaven comes to earth. At the end of Revelation.
These stupid Christians think they're going to reign with Moshiach, just like the rabbis in the 1,000-year messianic millennium. Hey, Christians attacking us online, how about not another word about pagans until you put an end to this stuff? Oh, you can't? You're just going to complain and cry online to the people actually addressing the problem? Not another word from these coping, lying Christians about me or any of our guys until you get this under control. Hey, go to his church. Tell him he's wrong. Convince everybody after church why they're wrong and why they're heretics and why they should believe your fringe, powerless version of Christianity. Thank you, Eliza.
Israel, 12 apostles of Jesus, 12 gates of the New Jerusalem in the book of Revelation. Jesus first appears in the temple at age 12, 12 Knights of the Round Table, Arthurian legend.
Well, I guess that's why we have our 12-day war. It's the greatest war of all time, the Donald Trump 12-day war.
Frog Empty sent $5. Kinda funny, they hate Jews, but want to be them and claim to be the original Israelites covenant chosen people, 13 tribes. Makes no sense. The same people who accuse others of being Jews look like Jews and act like them too, kinda like beards on online.
That's the dumbest thing about these Christians that hate on us all the time. They're wannabe Jews. They want to have the Jewish covenant. They worship the king of the Jews. They're spiritual Jews. They're Jews inwardly. They think they're the real Jews, and then they attack me all the time and claim I'm Jewish when I look like the spitting image of their Aryan Jesus. They couldn't get any more embarrassing and pathetic. It's just unbelievable how stupid these Christians are. And what's most infuriating about it is they're the main reason. They're the biggest ones to blame. They help keep all the Christian Zionists locked in the Jewish paradigm. They don't tell them the Bible's fake and they're meant to conquer you. They say, oh, no, you're the new Israel now. Everybody needs to bow down to the Jewish Messiah, including the Jews.
They do send $10 for a parliament established in Iceland by Vikings in 913. Thanks, Christian. That's a good ride.
You're saying that's before Christianity? I missed that. And no, they had other governments before that. So yeah, these Jews inwardly, yeah, they worship a Jew. They believe the Jewish God, Jewish religion. Their only problem with Jews is that they don't believe in the Messiah that's meant to conquer us. They want all the Goyim to bow down to the King of the Jews, the Moshiach of the tribe of Judah. I'm literally like more of a fucking Viking than any of these Christians calling me Jewish online. Most of them are probably 5'5" non-white incels. Okay, let's finish the clip.
Revelation, John says, I beheld the new Jerusalem coming as a bride adorned for her husband. Heaven and earth become one. This is the fulfillment of the prayer that Jesus taught us to pray. We call it the Lord's Prayer. And we are taught to say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that's the big flyover of end times events. A lot of exciting things. But the first event will be the rapture. So let me ask you this question. How does this strike you? In other words, how do you find yourself reacting to this teaching that Christ could come back at any moment? Do you get excited about that? Remember when you were a little kid and maybe you were a bad boy or girl and your mother said, just wait till your father gets home. It was very scary and you weren't
scholarly carnivore. I'm 6'4".
looking forward to dad returning. But if you were a good little boy or girl and daddy showed up, you were excited to see him. I think if we're walking with the Lord, we're excited about this because
hey, all you sheep excited to see daddy? You excited to see? And then they'll go, Sky Daddy, that's Reddit tier. Oh, tip your fedora with your Sky Daddy. You call him your father in heaven. The God of Zion is your father in heaven. They try to call me Rabbi Greenberg. Jesus is called Rabbi like a dozen times in the Bible, over a dozen times. That just means teacher. That's what rabbi means. Oh, he was teaching Hebrew Torah in the synagogues, impressing the rabbis? Okay, I guess that makes him a rabbi. You guys all ready for your Jewish daddy to come down and save you on his white horse with his blood-dripping robe? Trust the plan.
Kid, and maybe you were a bad boy or girl and your mother said,
have you been some bad little goys? Have you been a bad goy? Well, believe in the magic blood of Jesus and he's going to return and save you. He's going to save you from the Jews. The Jewish book told you so. Imagine being so gullible to fall for that. Not me.
Forget about it.
Just wait till your father gets home. It was
Rock empty sent $5. It is beyond retarded. They got and get upset at you and others for going to Jerusalem, Palestine. It's real, holy land and shit, and still slander you and others, but they always cry about it being their holy land, so what's the problem, really?
Yeah, their holy land is the desert in the Middle East. I went there in 2018 to go to the West Bank and to expose Israel on a pro-Palestine trip, and these lying Christians claim that it's some nefarious thing. I literally went to like all of the Christian holy sites in East Jerusalem, in the West Bank of Palestine, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Church of Nativity. When I got back, I did a video saying that I got to cut the line and go through another door because my Palestinian tour guide knew the Orthodox priest at the church where Jesus was born.
Sent $5 on Rumble. 12 is lamed, which is also 30. It means teaching and learning or training, especially for a messianic role.
Right. And these lying Christians go, he had a Mossad hookup in Israel. Durr. That's how bad these people lie. They're such frauds. I was at the church where Jesus was supposedly born, where there was a line of over 100 people waiting to go and touch and pray at the spot where the supposed manger was.
About that. Remember, how do you find yourself reacting to this teaching that Christ could come back at any moment? Do you get excited about that? Remember when you were a little kid and maybe you were a bad boy.
We want Moshiach now.
Just wait till your father gets home. It was very scary and you weren't looking forward to dad returning. But if you were a good little boy or girl and daddy showed up, you were excited to see him.
You better be a good little goy and believe in the magical Moshiach. Yeah, I'd need more Amalek. They say I went there multiple times. Just they're such fucking liars. I went to Palestine once, 7 years ago, on an anti-Israel trip. And these losers and copers, the Christians are like the craziest liars I've ever seen in my life.
White underscore stag sent $5 on Rumble. Did you go on BB's Jesus boat?
No Jesus boat. I wasn't aware of the Jesus boat. Maybe they hadn't found it. I think that might have been a recent find. Nope. One of the spots I went to Jacob's Well. That was in Palestine. I went to refugee camps in Palestine. What's the other thing that I saw? I saw where John the Baptist was supposedly beheaded, like some Herod's area, something like that. I don't know, can't remember the rest. The Jesus boat. Big Gay Al's Jesus boat ride. Yeah. I went and saw the River Jordan where Jesus walked the footsteps of Jesus, where Jesus was baptized. And I was like,
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
Hey, all the good guys, you better be good. You better believe in your Jewish prophecies. You better bow down to your Rabbi Jesus. You better be a good goy because daddy's coming. Your sky daddy's coming.
Christ could come back at any moment. Do you get excited about that? Remember when you were a little kid and maybe you were a bad boy or girl and your mother said, just wait till your father gets home. It was very scary and you weren't looking forward to dad returning. But if you were a good little boy or girl and daddy showed up, you were excited to see him. I think if we're walking with the Lord, we're excited about this because it could mean, I could meet the Lord in heaven. I could meet the Lord in the air.
So yeah, of course Christians are excited for the second coming of Jesus. And it's not just not real Christian Schofield Zionists that think that there's going to be a second coming. All major denominations believe in a second coming of Jesus. And they believe he's not coming until the Jews return to their land, have their temple, anoint their Antichrist, and have the mark of the beast. So the Christians believe that the Jews have to fulfill all their prophecies of taking over the world before Jesus returns. And you don't see the problem in that? You don't see how that's a trap? Christians think when they lose and the Jews win, they win and they get raptured and they go to heaven and the birth pangs of the Messiah and end times wars. And then Jesus is going to come and save us. And the Jews aren't worried about that, not a single bit. They think you're gullible fools helping them carry out their plans.
So I go over, I said, sure, send them over. So I go over to the rabbi's house, and the first thing the rabbi says to me, tell me, what's this business with the Christians? What is a good Jewish boy like you doing in the Christian churches? And I said to him, listen, Rabbi, with all due respect to the war hero Israelis and the genius Israelis, I'm sorry, 5 million Jews in Israel and 5 million Jews in America cannot defeat 1.3 billion Muslims. But if the Christians are with us, maybe we have a fighting chance. I said, sure.
Yeah. Oh, pretty Jewy to criticize Christianity, like these Christians online ignoring the fact that most Zionists in the world are Christians and that Netanyahu is constantly praising his greatest allies, the Christians, and that all of our Christian politicians go and bow down and kiss the wall and give Israel everything they want. Oh, pretty Jewish to criticize Christianity. And this is the stupid shit we hear. Pretty Jewish to not believe in the Jewish Messiah. Pretty Jewish to say the Bible is fake. The Jewish Bible's fake. I go on TikTok for the first time in like months. And this is like the first video it shows me. And it's got 100,000 likes. For this Christian lunacy. No joke. Oh, the Christian Jesus stuff is boosted like you wouldn't believe. Tens of thousands of huge YouTube channels and TikToks and Instagrams and Facebooks and Twitters shilling Rabbi Jesus. Every time I turn on my smart TV, It's The Chosen, Amazon, The Chosen. Watch this Jesus show, Passion of the Christ on Netflix. Shoving it down your throat. The Jesus stuff on TikTok is insane. I literally go down to TikTok and I'm like, I went on to TikTok and I'm like, oh, I'm going to find some clip that I'll share on Twitter. And then this is the first video it showed me. 100,000 likes.
In my mercy to you, I have listened to you. Mock me, mock my son, mock my servant. But I tell you today,
They love being mocked. See, the mocking is built in, the defense mechanism that inevitably Christians will be mocked. They're like, but they're going to be mocked and they might snap out of it. Oh, tell them they'll be mocked. That's part of the plan. So now the more that they get mocked, many of them, mocking does work on some, but some of them get mocked and they go, yep, Jesus said that we'd be mocked. Jesus said we would be hated. The world's supposed to hate us, just like the Jews think, oh, everybody, the persecution complex. Mock my son. Yeah, you worship a fake Jew. How's that for mocking, old man?
in my mercy to you, I have listened to you. Mock me, mock my son, mock my servant. But I tell you today, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it. In the days ahead, you're going to see me like you've never seen before, but you're not going to like what you see. The time of judgment is here. I'm in charge whether you think so or not, whether you believe it or not.
At Christ will return is his TikTok handle, by the way. And I don't know what's going on with Cletus here standing behind him. Looks like he's ready to get grafted in.
I'm going to raise one nation against another.
Oh, based, yeah. Stop being divisive. Stop being divisive. Jesus goes, I came not to bring peace but the sword, to turn nation against nation, household against household. And then we say, hey, this is fake and Jewish and divisive. Stop being divisive. You're anti-white. The copes are unreal.
I'm going to cause the earth to tremble and shake because I have been waiting on this day for thousands of years. I am anxious for the harvest to bring my people home who have been willing to suffer.
So, oh, I'm suffering. Oh, I'm persecuted. Oh, he waits for the harvest to bring he wants to be dyed. The harvest is when they cut you off, like the chaff, like the straw, the Esau straw that gets burnt by the Jews. They want to be harvested. They want to be sheep led to the slaughter with their fake crying. The end times death cult waiting for Jesus to return so he could be led to the slaughter by the Judas goat, by the Moshiach shepherd. Guys, this had 100,000 likes, millions of views. The Christians love it.
To deny themselves and bear their cross and suffer for me. I know their names. I've written them in the palm of my hand. I've got a place prepared for them. I'm soon going to call them home, where we shall be together forever and ever, as you have read, with everlasting life, meaning life that will last forever.
I'm going to live forever with my Messiah, King of the Jews in heaven, in the Jewish heaven. This guy's like,
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
He has that vibe, right? Talladega Nights vibe. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jewish God. I'm going to live forever with you, Jewish God, Sky Daddy.
I am the King.
Christ is King.
King of kings and the Lord of lords.
Moshiach is King.
My word is final. Where will you be in the judgment that's coming? It's coming. It's really here. You just don't see it yet. But you soon will. Saith the Lord of hosts.
Dude, what was Cletus doing behind him, by the way, this whole time? He just doesn't do anything, he's just standing behind him. Hey, Dad, what are you doing? Hey, Dad, are you going to embarrass me on another TikTok video, Dad?
Mock me, mock my son, mock my servant. But I tell you today,
Oh my gosh. Hey, my TikToks could barely break a few hundred views and then they got banned. But this guy is boosted and has 100,000 likes. So I guess they hate Jesus, right? Cletus could be his tarred wrangler. Cletus. That's funny. Texas Rebel for $2. Sorry, you got to give more than $2 for it to read. But thank you. What did you say? I'd listen to the farting preacher videos on repeat for a year nonstop before listening to this crackpot. It's okay. Don't worry, guys. The Christian nationalists, the white nationalist Christians tell us that we're anti-white and that Jesus was Aryan Chad, and that if you expose the Jewish religion, Christianity, that's primarily non-Europeans now, you're anti-white. Well, hold on. Let's check in on the based Christian.
Your king. I'm not racist, okay? Okay. All races are equal if Christ is your king.
So if I don't believe that Moshiach is my king, your invisible sky daddy.
Send $5 grand. The fuck you doing? You talking about all that just gobbledygook again? That's what Cletus is thinking in the back.
Probably. So we're all equal. If we're all gonna worship, we're all equal. And we're all one in the body of Christ. There's neither Greek nor Jew, no slave, nor free man, nor woman, or man. And we're all the same as long. You're my brother. If you believe in Jesus, you're my brother. We're all one human family. All the Goyim are going to worship Jesus together. But if you're an evil pagan, if you're an atheist, then you're not equal. That's what I'm hearing here.
I'm not racist, okay? Okay. All races are equal if Christ is your king. I'm not racist, okay? Okay. All races are equal if Christ is your king.
And his shirt says faith, family, freedom, in that order. Jesus first. Jesus before your own family. If you don't hate your family, then you're not a follower of Jesus.
I'm not racist, okay?
Okay, so people that don't believe in Jesus, you're not equal. They will put non-Europeans and consider them brothers over their own brothers if they don't believe in Jesus. And this is the real Christian view. Anybody else that doesn't share this sentiment, you're not a real Christian. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to us. This is real Christianity. Any church in the world, go in and try to say, no, Christ is white and it's a white man's religion. And we're not, and we're for anti-race. We're racist Christians. You'd be thrown out of there so fast. Stop the LARP. Stop the lies online. White nationalist Christians. And I got this. Dave Riley shared this. He was the guy that just hosted the Hetero Festival in Idaho. They're attacking him because Dave Riley made a joke. I played it last stream about there not being any black people in, I think, like Boise, Idaho or something. And they're doing, all the local networks are doing specials trying to ruin this guy's, he owns a brewery or a pub or something. They're all trying to call him racist. And that's his answer is, I'm not racist. If they believe in Jesus, they're my brother. But if you don't believe in Jesus, you're the Antichrist and you're not equal.
I'm not racist, okay? Okay. All races are equal if Christ is your king.
But if a white guy doesn't believe in Jesus, then you're not equal and you're evil. And I want nothing to do with you. Okay, that's the only real Christian view. This guy is a real Christian. If you disagree with him, you're not a real Christian. So don't tell me copers online. Like, I had Christians all day yesterday saying I'm anti-white because I expose Jewish Jesus. Okay. All the Catholic charities, all the Protestants and their missionaries teaching the Bible to people around the world, the Catholic Church, the Pope saying open borders and anti-racism, the Catholics and all their organizations bringing in all the refugees and the immigrants into European countries. You Christians want to blame all the Jews for everything. Highest and other groups, they're involved. But I don't even think on the scale as the Catholic Church is. And then guys like Fuentes act like, oh, we're the real opposition, while Ben Shapiro and Shmuley Boteach get the red carpet treatment and go and meet the Pope, and you're disavowed, but you're still shilling Catholicism as the answer. Yeeth Khan in the comment says, I disagree with this guy. Well, then you're not a real Christian. You're coping. You're not a real Christian. Go into any church and try to say anything different and see how that works out for you. Guys, where are we at on the goal now? Have we hit the 3? Can I get 3? 3 hours. 3-hour stream. 36 more to go. Thousands of worshipers in the Philippines stunned when a white cloud resembling Jesus appears in the sky. Don't you love this? 2.9 million views, 54,000 likes for the Jesus cloud. Sure, he lets terrible things happen to good people. Sure, young innocent babies die of painful death of brain cancer, and babies all over the world are born with genetic diseases despite their parents being healthy and going to church their whole lives and praying every day. Sure, whole congregations and millions of people pray for peace in Gaza and tens of thousands are slaughtered. But hey, here's the power of Jesus. You need proof Jesus is real? You want to see a miracle, guys? Right here. The Filipinos praying for Jesus, and Jesus appeared. And it's a miracle. Look at that. Do you see him? It's him. I'm convinced. Filipinos are Pico Catholics? Oh, you mean the white religion, Catholicism? Guys, are you convinced? Do you see it? 54,000 likes. Can you believe it? Christians are all the proof I need. Cringianity. They're Sky Daddy. Yeah, that's the Sky Daddy. Remember what they said when Trump's assassination attempt? They're like, right before it happened, the wind blew the flag and it folded up on the flagpole and it looked like an angel. And that was a God sign. An angel saved Donald Trump. Morpheus is going to go get baptized now. All right. I feel it. I feel the Lord. I've seen the Lord. Imagine seeing this. Swindler's List. There's your Sky Daddy. Redhead Libertarian says, neat. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Colin Rugg, 1.8 million followers, says, very, very cool. Who else is in here? I want to read some more comments. It's a cloud, dude. I see a game show model showing off prizes. Dude. Heaven touches earth in the most unexpected ways. A reminder that Christ is truly with us, even in the skies above. What a powerful moment of grace and faith. The cloud showing up isn't just a coincidence. It's a divine miracle. This scene looks amazing. Amen. How do you know it's Jesus? Maybe it's Mary. He's on his way. Dude. What is wrong with us? Israeli soldier talking about the West in 9/11.
There you have it. Learn people language so I can fuck them in the ass. There you go. There you have it.
You know, the 54,000 people liking this cloud video, it reminds me of last week how this South Korean guy that claims to have the highest IQ in the world, he goes, I have the highest IQ in the world, and I believe Jesus is God. And the Christians are like, oh, mic drop. It's over. It's over for the atheist. Jesus is real. They're like, I'm convinced. Smart guy says Jesus is real. Okay, that's all the proof I need. BTFO, atheist. The dude believes in simulation theory. His argument that Jesus is real is like the worst Gary Habermas Christian apologetics. He also says he loves Donald Trump and stands with Donald Trump after he bombed Iran. Blue beam Jesus. They just saved $1 trillion on the Jesus hologram. Dude, the South Korean dude with the supposedly highest IQ that says he believes in Jesus, it got so many millions of likes. Talk about cherry picking too. Like, you could do like the most extensive study on all of the top highest IQ people in the world and ask if they believe in Jesus. And it could say like 0.1% of all the smartest people in the world believe in Jesus. And they'll just be like, that's a Jewish study. I don't care if they're just brainwashed by books and universities. They just hate God. Like, they'll dismiss it. But like one grifter from South Korea says, I believe in Jesus. It's God. And they're just like, oh, it's over. Wah, 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 wah. They're like,
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
So pathetic. So pathetic. That's how that TikTok gets 100,000 likes. I almost just want to go through all of these retweets too. I want to see a few retweets. I want to laugh some more at the reactions. Blue beam. It has begun. We do not have much longer to wait. He is coming. The toast is more convincing. People claim like, oh, miracles still happen. Miracles like this. Amazing. The Rebel Alliance in the tortilla. God is good. Actual goitard shit. A bunch of proud Christians that call themselves sheep, following their shepherd, waiting for the harvest, waiting to be fleeced. And then you wonder why the Jews call you goyim and compare you to cattle. Believe, pray, be kind, and amazing things can happen. Dude, people are sold on this. Praise God, says Susan, the cradle Catholic with the Orthodox Christian crosses. How insanely cool is this? Oh my God. Imagine thinking this is insanely cool. People will be like, Adam's just finding dumb Christians to make them look stupid. You mean like this that's got 54,000 likes? Or this guy that got 100,000 likes?
Yeah, brother, no problem. We like the money, not like you guys. You goy. You know what is goy?
Yeah, you did this. You did this.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this? What is this? 9/11?
Yeah.
9/11, it's the best.
Yeah, you Jews own everything, huh?
Everything, we rule everything, brother. You need to understand. We eventually will rule the world. 10 years from now.
We eventually will rule the world, he says. 10 years from now.
We eventually will rule the world. 10 years from now, it's not France. It's Francistan. It's not Netherlands. It's Netherlandistan. Belgistan.
Dude, they love the fact that Islam, the broom, is conquering Edom. Just as the prophets foretold, they'll say.
Wait, brother.
You did that.
Of course, you deserve that. I swear I'm happy it happened to the Europeans.
You deserve that. I'm happy the Europeans are being conquered with open... Hey, but remember, the Great Replacement is just an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Millions of these videos on TikTok, unlimited, all promoted, right? The same TikTok that blew up Ian Carroll.
Yeah. The European is the most cheap persons in the life. I lived in Belgium before. Yeah. I know who is the Europeans. Europeans can suck my dick, brother. You're worth nothing. I tell you, we run the fucking world. You don't understand what I'm telling you? We rule the world. Rothschild, people like this. You don't understand. It's behind the scenes even, with all this Illuminati shit, bro. You don't know what's going on. You guys will never understand because you're not Jewish. You're not allowed to know those things. But we know what's happening behind the world, brother.
I know.
everything good, but you don't deserve to know it. You understand?
Everything good.
I will rape the children I will rape children in front of a mother, and then I will shoot the child in the head and the mother also. As we're born.
Did you do that?
Greatest ally, by the way.
Yes, you see this? This is, I swear, from the army.
Well, Christians, we don't have that. We try to make peace.
Wow, we're going to see the peace in 10 years in Europe. We will see what peace you have, bro.
Oh my God, the Christian's like, oh, well, we love our enemies and we turn the other cheek and we want peace. And he's just like, oh, you stupid goy. They're like, oh, we give away all our goods and collect our treasures in heaven. He goes, you stupid goy. I like the honesty. Okay, here's the craziest rabbi ever. Dude, I went to the county fair yesterday. I swear to God, there was a Jew there that looked just like this. He didn't have the big Russian hat, though. A few more here. Almost to the goal. I know you guys are going to hit it. Here's the new mayor that just got, he is not elected yet, or the mayor. He just won the Democratic primary. Some Muslim dude, I believe. Everybody's posting, all the the Zionists are posting like, oh, it's going to be Muslim New York now. They had burqas everywhere and stuff. His wife is like all scantily clad, like Syrian girl. But I'm sure he's a Marxist, leftist, anti-white dude. But he says he's going to arrest Netanyahu. That's what's really got the Zionists so upset.
And Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a city that our values are in line with international law. It's time that our actions are also.
Even though the US is not a signatory to the ICC?
No, it's time that we actually step up and make clear what we are willing to do to showcase the leadership that is sorely missing in the federal administration.
Dude, he will arrest Netanyahu, huh? Remember we played the clip a while ago. It was going around online where like they were asking all the Democratic candidates like, do you support Israel? Where will is your first trip going to be to go kiss the wall when you win? And he was like the only one that said no. And now he says he's going to arrest Netanyahu. But hey guys, how about instead of like immigrant Muslim that's anti-white and an extreme leftist, can we get some normal white guys that don't believe the Bible to say that they're going to arrest Netanyahu in politics? Is that too much to ask? Maybe. Okay, let's play this one. I saw Need More Amalek share this. Let's see, what is this? 4,800 comments. 19,000 likes. Let's see. Let's learn about the countdown. 4 biblical signs remain before Christ returns.
Only 4 signs remain before the return of Christ, and they could unfold at any moment. Throughout Scripture, we're told that certain events must occur before Jesus returns, and nearly all have already come to pass. Now only 4 remain, and time is running out. The first.
Yeah, what if Netanyahu purposely travels to New York? Will he really arrest him? Like to challenge it? Doubt it.
Sign, the end of grace. A day is coming when the door of mercy will close. The opportunity to turn to God, to be forgiven and redeemed, will vanish. It will mark the end of the age of grace, a moment when hearts will be sealed in their choices. The second sign, the Great Tribulation. This will be a time of deep sorrow and chaos. For those who rejected salvation, protection will be removed. Evil will rise, and darkness will seem to rule unchecked. The third sign, the mark, a mysterious symbol that many will accept, voluntarily or through deception. Those who receive it will be marked as belonging to the kingdom of darkness, and once it's done, there's no going back. The fourth and final sign, the plagues. Just before the return of the king, devastating plagues will strike. Disease, famine, and destruction will fall upon those who chose rebellion.
Awesome. Thank you, God.
It will be the final warning before the heavens open. If you believe Christ will return, comment, "He's coming" below. Like this video to show your faith.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming on me. Jesus is coming.
Subscribe for more biblical
prophecies. Oh, they're like, Jesus is coming so hard right now, guys.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're such a little bitch.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of videos of the Christian mental illness, boosted, never censored, all over the internet. Churches on every corner, Jesus magazines at the checkout stand at the grocery store, endless content on your smart TV promoting Jesus, but there's nothing they hate more. Nothing they hate more than all the goy believing in their God and bowing down to the Jewish Messiah. All right, everybody's talking about this new clip of Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., saying that his vision, this is making America healthy again. Every American is wearing a wearable electronic data collection device within 4 years. Funny how Ian Carroll traveled the country campaigning for this, and I heard he was paid even to campaign for this.
Their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their life.
Like, I know I've got some friends that already wear these things. They've got the smartwatches, the Fitbits. They have the rings now that do this. It measures their sleep patterns, their heart rate, their steps, like all of this shit. That in itself is not a concern. I would wear one of those if it wasn't like radiation and IMF and like Wi-Fiing me and Bluetoothing me all the time. I would be interested in that kind of stuff. I could see tracking some of those health things could have benefit, although I'm fine without it. I've always been fine without it. But this is the step to normalize the chips and the internal stuff and total tracking. It's going to be used to track all your biometric data as well.
Their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives.
Dude, I can't stand these quiet clips, man. The people that post these clips that are so quiet we can't hear them makes my blood boil.
We think that wearables are a key to the Maha agenda, making America healthy again.
Key to the Maha agenda. Just ban fat people. They can take any info and use it against you. Yeah, it'll be used and they'll sell it to advertisers so you can get your prescription pills marketed to you.
And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Every American wearing a wearable in 4 years. And then that'll be normalized, and then next it'll be the chips. Then it'll be the nanobots. Then it'll be the internals. First it'll be the wearables, then it'll be the internals. Yeah, RFK, Ultra Zionist, Epstein plane, Shmuley's buddy, Reeby. I'm just going to call the Rebbe the Reeby from now on, like Bill Coper. All right. Guys, that is all we have for today. 3 hours and 18 minutes show today. And is that 13? We didn't make the goal, but we did make the goal enough that I'm going to stream tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern with another stream. Maybe I'll find a guest or something to join. I appreciate everybody for the support. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Just a little recap. Shabbos Goy, top Goy Trump defending Netanyahu. We went over the insane story of the Noahide killer lunatic.
I'm trying to figure out what's...
The anti-Semitism crackdown is coming, as predicted. You guys took the bait. You walked into the trap. Abraham Accords, peace deal in West Bank with Palestine. It's going to be biblical. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Share the links. Give it a like. Subscribe if you're not on all platforms. Odysee is getting monetization back, hopefully. Rumble. We're about to hit 10,000 followers on Rumble. Share the links. Share the clips. Share the show. Educate yourselves. Educate others. Check out the t-shirts at knowmorenews.org. Get your guys before they're gone.
Ordinary Dome sent $5. I remember being given to a Pope penny and believing God was judging my every action. What a mental prison. Thank you for helping free me, Adam. The application of logic is one of the best ways to snap oneself out of the hypnosis.
Very happy that I snapped you out of the Judeo spell. Freeing minds from the lies. Pick up the shirts, No More News shirts. Oh, right. Tripped and fell.
$20 on Rumble. What do you have left to meet goal?
What do I have left? How much you got? How much you got?
I'm rich, bitch!
$11. $11 more. And I get to go tell Miss No More News that I made the goal. She'll be so happy. Get a steak dinner tonight. Jake Shields is saying the killer into the Jews hate Christians thing. Well, I mean, he did hate Christians. He considers them idol worshipers. But of course, he's not exposing the big picture of all of it. The fact that he's still believes the Torah and his sky daddy Yahweh. All the anti-Semites will explode. Yep. Green the pagan prophet. Goal maker aura. Thank you, Sierra Mountain. Thank you, See Through It All. Huge shout out. Everybody follow See Through It All if you're not. Televised Lies. YeethCon. I'm leaving you in here just for the copes and for the entertainment of everybody, but you need to stop lying. You're only lying to yourself. Nobody's falling for the gaslighting. Tripped and fell for the goal.
$13 on Rumble. Ha 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 ha. You were right. I doubted you. But I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong.
Doubted me on religion? I hear that so much, guys. This is why they do the slander, the Christian slander, and blacklist and suppress. And I've been censored so much because they know that this information is dangerous. And if a lot of people hear it, their minds will be opened. They get it right away, and they will be freed from the Judeo paradigm. And the Abrahamic matrix gatekeepers out there don't want their grift impeded upon. They don't want their Jesus grift harmed. So help me get the word out with the t-shirts by spreading the word. We're having a big impact. They're scared. We're snowballing. The truth is on our side. And we're only getting started. I love you all. Thank you so much. More debates to come. I'm ready for some debates. It's been a while for some debates. The book is going to get finished soon. And we're doing big things. I love you all. And I'll see you again very soon. Hey, who feels like Adam Green sometimes? Do you in the chat?
Raised to be a Christian believer, but also as a seeker. Mama never held back the good, bad, or ugly from me. Eventually started wondering, after a long time of fighting myself. I saw a post that said exactly what I felt. Jesus, an ancient deception. Found Adam Green through a Twitter suggestion. Then I watched his debate with Duvid, leaving Christianity. Finally I could do it. Lost good friends, middle fingers on their hands. So many want to remain clueless. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm just asking you to see my side. Some say I'm anti-Semitic, others say that I'm a Jew, but the truth is I am neither, I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I know what it's like to be seen as the devil, when in reality you're trying to help them. They say I need to be saved by Jesus, but they're the ones in need of the saving. There's already been a few, started with the fall of Rome. It's not God, it's evil people destroying these homes. Human-made prophecies try to start the end times. See a foreign land as holy, brainwashed to resent mine. Books our ancestors wanted passed down to their people got replaced with ones that say our ancestors were evil. Been worshiping demons and knowing not what they did. Should we trust ourselves or the books that make us villains? You fall for the latter and say we should be tolerant, but your faith builds a prison in your head. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm asking you to see my side. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither. I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. And I'm all for not letting faith have us divided. But the spread of your faith was when all this deadly division started. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I need you all to see my side. I've seen it, I believe it. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither. I'm just trying to reach you. Can you see my view? Listen to Adam Green sometimes.